We got a 1d10 force damage in the chat with a lot of eyes.
Yo.
What's up?
Hola, nerds.
1d force damage, knocking all the Washburnillo emotes right through the door here. Hey, we're gonna have a new emote drop soon. That's on my schedule. Yeah, my plan for February is to finish refining all of our emotes. I am awesome is here and very disappointed. Oh no,
that sucks.
What are you so disappointed about? No one told you there was a podcast. I told you there was a podcast.
We mention it every Monday.
I also like the idea that Noon told him it was a podcast.
Oh,
not
Noon
no one.
told him. I see. Got it.
Well, that makes stupid Noon.
Yeah.
Yeah, freaking
all
Noon.
Noon is all it's good for is for waking up at that time.
Yeah.
Why is that a bad thing? I am awesome. Catching up is the best thing. You know, you get the feeling of experience.
You get the binge.
Yeah.
You get the feeling of being in the Twitch stream without actually having to see the ugly faces, but you can listen to it in your car.
This is
Welcome to Wash Roast.
This is a great
Badger
point.
Gaming.
Yeah, this is the part where Wing Badger Gaming reveals that we're actually going to just stay on this screen all night. This is the plan.
It'll make our TikTok clips really entertaining.
I am awesome
you
says
can't
I
see our
can't follow
faces.
along in real time because I'll be spoiled. I am awesome. We're actually going to start this session with a lore recap. So if you want, that will get you caught up enough to partake in the conversation tonight, because this is a tavern talk. So it's not another episode of the session. We're not going to do anything further. We're just going to go over clues they've already collected. Now, I guess that'll tell you some of the clues they're going to collect, but like the clues are only a piece of the sessions. We won't be spoiling a whole lot of other stuff. So
It's almost like
totally
we want this to be
tonight.
evergreen content that is very viewer friendly.
I am awesome. You have indeed raised this objection in our Discord today as well. Fungi is not a plant. We acknowledge that fungi is not a plant now, but I'm not going to go in Urida, fungi is a plant, okay? You don't know how scientists classify things in Urida, and Jake does. And Jake, how do they classify fungi in Urida?
Well, ironically, I was gonna say I had this same comment earlier in the campaign, and you just told me basically don't worry about it, and so I'm gonna keep following that. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Wasn't there something about the plant in Zoth's pot being both a fungi and a plant itself?
I think this is
the plant is a moss and a vine, which is what frustrated Jake. But it is a moss that grew vines like that.
Because my theory was Josh forgot whether he called it a moss or a vine, and he just simply called it one or the other for a while. And then the canon that became the canon is that it was moss that grew vines, which I think is cool.
No, so it was always moss that grew vines. You missed when I said it the first time.
That's great.
You can go back.
Great.
It's
that's
recorded.
super cool that he can say that. And I think that's awesome.
You can go listen to me say it.
Either way, it's canon now, so I don't care. I don't really care. It's not a big deal. But like, you know.
So it's a fungi and a plant. There we go. We solved the mystery.
It's a flant or a is it a pun? Is it a pun guy?
I'm a pun guy.
That's Josh. Yeah, you're getting that confused with Josh.
Chad says canon spannin. I would like to acknowledge that some D&D parties have rules lawyers in their midst, but we have a lore lawyer in our midst.
A lawyer.
Yeah, lawyer. That's a thing. Also, sorry there's no background music. I tried to play background music as I always do, except that this time my wife yanked control of the Spotify back again, and so she's listening to Spotify upstairs.
I know. So, I don't have a wife, but I know how that works with just Spotify control when you're sharing an account.
I got you for background music, okay?
Are you gonna be the background music?
I'll be the background music, all right?
Okay.
All right.
Welcome to the acapella stream.
Well, that was a bit. Let's end it. Let's kill that bit now. That was good. Let's. Chat's like boop boop wah. Not gonna lie, that was pretty good. Says 1d10 force damage.
We appreciate that.
It's actually.
I guess we're starting a scat band, guys.
Yeah, it'll be the follow up to our rap project. If any of you saw our mixtape there. Are those?
Hey, thank you 1d10 for the bits.
Thanks for the
bits.
Those
bits? Yo,
Bids.
wait,
a lot of
Bids.
oh
Let's
man,
go.
for the rap song. Thank you so much, 1d10 force damage. We have a cool like bit alert thing on the next screen, but it's not up yet, and I'm so sorry.
Hey, it still gave a lot of heart emojis on the screen, and that
we
was
are
cool.
still very thankful. I just want to let you know that if you do that in the future, Wingle digits will drop from the top of the screen and accumulate.
That's sick.
So
That's awesome.
That's a thing that's gonna
Chad
happen
gets to
here.
start a horde. Is Chad a dragon?
They are now,
Dude, could you imagine a Wingle digit dragon?
dude.
Oh.
What do you mean the dragons just like collect stuff, you know? They just end up with wingle digits.
Okay.
It's
Wait,
a
wait, wait.
different thing.
Is a Wingle digit dragon made out of Wingle digits?
I don't
Yes,
know.
it's constructed of that black material and copper like the ciphers are.
Okay,
That's
but
my
following
canon.
our theory that Wingle digits are just D&D NFTs, does that, or like cryptocurrency, does that mean that like its whole horde are NFTs? Like there's nothing in its lair. It's just like, dude, the blockchain. Like,
You know, guys, trust me, in 15 years, this is going to be so helpful and so
no.
useful. Web 3, I mean spider
gonna-
web 3, like the aquatic seafaring spider
Hey,
web 3, it's going to change
Next
everything.
next year it's gonna blow up. Okay, next year it's gonna blow up. Get in now, right now.
What's
At
funny
the ground level.
is it's a joke, and it is a joke. However, I'm not being completely ironic. I'm kind
his
of an
lair is a
NFT
crypto
and
farm.
yo, he's just got graphics cards running
A typical
24/7.
D&D party is a blockchain.
Yep.
Jake, you're gonna have to meet me and fight me, sir, about
Oh, really?
about supporting NFTs.
I'm like I wouldn't call myself an NFT culture enjoyer. I would call myself just an NFT concept enjoyer, if that makes sense.
Chat's been trying to
D&D, they
convince.
stand
Only the
for
concept.
non-fungi token.
I was just gonna say, Chat's been
Non-fungi
trying to
tokens,
convince
love
us
it.
that the mic in it is an NFT, a non-fungi.
Non-fungible token.
Token?
I can't speak.
Token?
What are
He
you
would be
saying?
non-fungi if he's a plant.
Yeah,
True.
yeah,
But is
the
he?
pun guy.
That's Josh. He's the pun guy.
It's me.
Oh,
Me.
Me,
By the
the
way,
pun guy.
the thing I got last con that has just been sitting there and you couldn't see it. Now you can see it.
Ooh,
right.
cool.
Oh wait, you can't see it yet.
Well, the stream
oh,
can't
yeah,
see it.
Stream can't see it yet. Never mind.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
The stream
Let's all
can't.
talk
so
about
never
something the
mind.
stream can't see. That's very inclusive, you guys.
Yeah,
They must love this.
um,
This is the best content they've ever heard.
I love the thing the stream can't see.
It'll be even better on
It's-
Spotify, where they'll
It's actually
never
the
get
coolest
to see.
thing. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen with my own eyes, and
I
it's,
know, right?
It's crazy. Actually, and I say that kind of ironically. It is really cool. Like, it's great.
I mean, it's just we're gonna hype it up, and then I'm gonna actually move it before we go and show her, and then it would be like, you missed it. It was right there.
Yeah,
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
exactly.
This
Oh
is just an
my
average
God.
day for the podcast listeners.
That's
Yeah,
right.
man.
Yeah. Those poor podcast listeners, I do have to apologize to you now because this was a very visual evening, and
A podcast.
all right.
you're gonna want to watch this one on
Visualize.
YouTube.
This will push our skills, right? To be very verbal about what we're talking about.
That's right. It'll
I'm
push
always
your
verbal
skills.
about what I'm talking about. You mean verbal about what we're seeing?
All right, chat. So first off, imagine a
True.
corkboard.
1d10.
bunch of
I'm both. You're a podcast listener and a viewer. Well, also starting this week, our podcast is going to be going up on our YouTube channel as well. So then, if
Wow.
listeners want to see the visuals, they can go and see the visuals there.
Gasp.
Yeah.
When D10 force damage is like, I listen to the podcasts because I enjoy them. You listen to them because you missed the stream. We are not the same.
That's
We
great.
are not alike.
We are not the
3,
same.
2, 1, and then our faces were
There
on
are
the screen.
faces.
Here
Whoa.
we are. How's everybody doing?
Doing
We feeling
great.
good? Feeling
Yeah.
good.
I just want to
Yeah.
mention, the best part is it's cropped so you can't even see it. You can't even see it.
Even better. Oh no, is the
Oh.
I wanted to wear my blue light glasses because my eyes were feeling
Here,
sore, but
you know what?
I'm seeing that I'm getting harsh reflection in them. Is that
Well,
okay?
sit where you're gonna be casual, and we'll see how bad your reflection is. Sit how you're gonna sit, man. Sit how you're
Welcome to
gonna
my
sit.
world.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it still is kind of not.
You look like an anime villain who, like the glasses when they flash like the bright color. That's what you look like. You're the anime villain. You looks like a cop.
Shing.
You're already dead.
That's
Nani?
awesome. Also, these random black lines laying on the ground here, those are Wingle digits. They have fallen flat. It's actual 3D like simulated space, so you can't quite see them. But if you drop more bits, you'll see more Wingle digits fall from the ceiling.
Wait, where are they?
You'll just have to take my word for it.
Where are they?
I was
They're
about
on
to
the
call
black-
you out on it, Josh. I was like, hey, Josh, I think the overlay's messed up. There's like black bars on the bottom.
Yep. That's
Got it.
That's not messed up. That's there on purpose.
He actually is trying to give it like a different aspect ratio. He was kind of tired of the way that the framing looked.
Is there a command to pop them? Like, to be like, pop.
That'd be cool.
Oh, don't
Hey,
even
we need 10 with more bits. Thank you so much.
Ah, face is
Look at
covered.
those. Now we don't have to worry about Jake's glasses because you blocked him with Wingle digits. We'd rather look at Wingle digits anyway. A+.
Love it.
And there's not currently a command to shake him around, but I will absolutely make one that just does like a gravity pulse to toss him up in the air. That's so fun. One thing
for this purpose probably as well.
One thing that our mods can do that our chat can't do. Let me see if I can remember the command correctly here. But I believe chat faces will show. Nope, maybe it's not that. Shoot, hang on. I got to figure out what this command is because there's another really cool command in here. It is chat faces. Am I not a moderator of my own Twitch channel? Thanks for the bits. I am awesome.
Let's go.
Chat's on a quest to just hide Jake. We will never see Jake again. Jake, you're just Alan.
That's okay.
We're now one of those Angry Birds
Wow.
token machines.
There it is. Chat faces. It worked.
Whoa.
It's because F-Skater's a mod, and I guess Wing Badger Gaming's not a mod of Wing Badger Gaming. So you can
Why
do
is
that
it
again
doubled?
to turn it off because right now that's the. You know what? I don't know why it's doubled. I started speaking like I had an explanation, but I don't. Let me go mess with it and see if I can fix that. But I've been playing with all sorts of cool stuff, and I'm clearly playing too hard. Let's see. It's the okay. Wait. I got this. Viewers in chat. Boom. That's viewers in chat. Those are the people who are viewers in the chat, but the list is doubled. I think because there's not the full there's not 14 or whatever. Let's just make it one row, and then it won't be. Nailed it. Save the day.
Nailed it.
I'm a hero. You're welcome. You're welcome. Boom. So there's some chat faces that we can turn on. So I think that could be fun to do from time to time. F-Skater, can you turn them off? You have all the power. I can't.
How do I turn them off? Just type it
same
again.
command. Yeah, it's a toggle.
Okay.
But anyway, so shout out to all of you. Look, your character's in our stream now. Your faces are right up there on screen. We love you.
Cannon.
Except Jake's face. Rip him.
Yeah. Bye, Jake.
Yep.
Jake's hidden behind all those
Oh.
wiggle digits.
You know what? While Jake is hidden, I've got another face I can show to replace Jake.
Oh.
So for our podcast listeners, this is a wood
Podcast
carving.
listeners, let's go.
Dude.
Podcast listeners of Spike from Cowboy Bebop.
Hell yeah.
Doing the like finger guns, like the last scene thing where he's bleeding, but it's all with different colored wood.
See you next time, Space Cowboy.
It's pretty good.
That's awesome, dude. Hey, let's do the quick audio snippets that we need for the podcast, and then we can launch right into this. For those of you who don't know or who are joining us for the first time tonight, we turn all of this into a podcast. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Podcast, whatever. And for those people who can't see our faces and the labeled names, I mean, nobody's going to see Jake's face, but for the rest of us, we just do a quick introduction of who we are. So we're just going to go down the list and say, hi, I'm blah, I play this character. We'll go Matt, Wash, Jake, Trevor, me. Go ahead.
Hello, I am Matt. I play Fox. He's a changeling rogue, and he's growing up and becoming a real man. You know, he's already of an adult age, but he just got out of the house kind of scenario, and he's really growing. It's real change for him. Go ahead, Wash.
If you ask me who I am, my name is Wash, and I play a little mole guy called Jebediah Peppermint, who likes peppermint sometimes and is very small.
It's okay. Is it me? Okay.
Yeah.
My turn. Okay. Was that supposed to be Christopher Walken? I just need to clarify that.
Jake.
No, that's Wash who plays Jebediah Peppermint.
Cool. All right. Hi, I'm Jake, and I play Alan Woodrear, the Azamar Barbarian, and I never get my intro right, or at least only very rarely. But, yeah, that's me.
Oh. Hi, I'm Trevor. I play Zothkug, the Orc Cleric. I remembered to say all that stuff this time, because last time I forgot.
And I'm Josh, your Wing Badger Game Master. Welcome back to the tavern. Tonight we're doing tavern talk. It's a little bit less involved. We're going to be staying out of character for the evening, going over the plot so far, and specifically we're going to be using this conspiracy board that I have constructed for the players to try and unravel what everything means. We're trying to answer 3 big questions tonight. Where did the magic go? Why did the magic go? And can we bring it back? Those are the questions that are the overarching quest of our story as well. But before we dive into this conspiracy board, I thought it would be helpful to give just like a little lore recap. And also, I made this cool animation in Photoshop with like digital watercolor that I'm really excited about. So I'm going to play you this short video to recap the lore of our session so far. And then we'll get going. Here we go.
I'm excited.
2 years ago, magic vanished from the world of Urida. Monuments fell, academies crumbled, and thousands died, all quick as a candle snuffed out by the wind. Fittingly, this event would come to be known as the Darkening. In the aftermath, fate brought 4 adventurers together. Inquisitive Owlin, wily Fox, laid-back Zothkug, and plucky Jebediah each have their own reasons for questing, but their goals are the same: discover where the magic went, and bring it back if they can. They found their first clues early, in an abandoned dirtfolk way station overrun by fauna. In retracing his grandfather's steps, Jebediah discovered his corpse, and with it, the strange handgun through which Grandpa Cole focused his magic. Stranger still, in a world bereft of magic, that weapon seemed somewhat functional. A strange moss reacted to Zothkug's touch, perhaps triggered by the severed connection to his god Kelnor, transforming itself into a vine whose leaves Zothkug was able to channel into a semblance of his former divine power. Along with the Myconid our 4 heroes journeyed deeper into the web of dirtfolk tunnels, where they discovered several hidden rooms containing trapdoors, and beneath those trapdoors, currents of magic rippling through the ground itself, held in by some strange artificer's construction. This is also where they met Circles, an addict way far gone on a new drug called Sacrium that caused wild magic surges all around him. Naturally, the crew sampled some of the drug with interesting effects. They ventured next to the town of Red Hill, hoping to find a bed for the night and stock up on some traveling supplies. They got more than they bargained for as Jebediah went into the bank and heard from the smooth-talking salesman about a new currency called Wingle Digits, a product of the Bright World Company. According to the salesman, you can use these Wingle Digits with special gadgets from the Bright World Company to reproduce magic. Overexcited about the opportunity, Jeb stole an entire case of them, and the party were chased out of town with nothing but their new knowledge that someone was mining, refining, and selling magic. These suspicions were confirmed when, through a hidden accessway, our 4 heroes found themselves falling a mile straight down into the Underdark. There, some friendly flumps led the party to a mining compound operated by the Bright World Company. The raw Sacrium was being mined from the ceiling, as the operation hollowed out a vertical mile of the Underdark. By disguising themselves as employees of the Bright World Company, Zothkug, Owlin, Jebediah, and Fox, with hiding in his hood, were able to observe the refining process for the Sacrium and watch it being turned into new Wingle Digits, which left the compound on massive carts to who knows where. The disappearance of caused the party to separate. Zothkug and Owlin went to find the young plant creature, while Fox and Jebediah went back into the compound at night in search of more information. Both adventurers became somewhat more involved than expected. Zothkug and Owlin came to the aid of the dragon Vokaru, trapped by the Darkening in his human form, and earning for themselves a favor for their service. Fox and Jebediah met Vondal Frostbeard, who was investigating the Bright World Company on behalf of Satonia, avatar of the nature god Kotix. In assisting Vondal, they learned much about the operations of the Bright World Company, including the fact that this was only one of many dig sites, as well as discovering that Satonia was alive, weak, and in hiding. The status of the other 3 avatars remains unknown. Unfortunately, in learning all this, Fox and Jeb were discovered and determined that the party needed to flee Dig Site 6. In a harrowing escape, the group reunited to steal a cart laden with Wingle Digits and flee north towards Tumbleweb. After putting their heads together and going over all the information they'd collected so far, the team determined to visit this dark site, the center point of all the Bright World mines, where they suspect something nefarious is happening. And that brings us to right now.
That was awesome.
That was so
Bum, bum,
good.
bum.
That was awesome.
Thanks, guys.
That was amazing.
That is one of several really fun animations that we're putting together to really like up the production quality for all of you viewers. Wash Brunello and I have been collaborating on a theme, like an intro, like an anime intro theme for the show.
That sounds
which we're
awesome.
really excited about.
That's amazing.
And then that lore drop, and this stuff will also be on our YouTube channel because we're relaunching the YouTube channel this month. So we're doing all sorts of cool stuff. But tonight, all that matters is that you now know the story that led us to a bunch of dudes sitting around a conspiracy board trying to figure out where the magic go, why the magic go, can the magic come back?
What the
And to
magic
that
doing?
effect, you
What
and
the
I,
magic
viewers,
doing?
we're just spectators. Feel free to give your suggestions to them, offer, like thoughts you have, whatever. This is now their show. All I'm gonna do is watch their work here on the conspiracy board. So I'll zoom in and get people through all those things.
I know, right?
Chat,
I am awesome.
Chat says it's really impressive that I live animated and narrated that just now as part of the stream. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
it was
lot of work
crazy.
to do all at once, but I'm a professional, so it's fine.
No big deal.
All
No
right,
big deal.
you guys take it away.
Alrighty. Are we starting from like recent to old, or going old to recent?
I guess, do you want a
Chronological
tour of the
order?
clues really quick? Should I do that for you guys before we get going?
That would help a little
Sure.
bit.
So we've got a bunch of categories here. The first thing is sessions, clues that you found during different sessions of gameplay, and I titled them to kind of remind you what was happening during there. They're the same title as our podcast episodes. Then I have clues that these are either people or entities who we're pretty sure matter. We've got concepts that matter, like the existence of Sacrium, that drug that Cypher was gone on. And then we've got places that we're pretty sure matter or that we visited. This is not an exhaustive list. So if you think there's something that's missing as you go through this, you can add it yourself. These are the ones that I was able to find as I quick skimmed through my notes over the weekend to try and give you guys a starting point. So don't look at this like Josh gave us everything that matters. Like if you think of something else, it could totally matter. I have not like exhausted every resource to do this. I just did my best to give you a starting point. On the side here, these scribbles, they're supposed to tell you the passage of time. When I wrote them, they were full days. Like this said, day 1, day 3, day whatever. But they screwed up because I guess this whiteboard screwed up. So sorry about that. It has been in total about 2 weeks of game time play.
Okay.
So
yeah,
that's
that seems,
what you're
that seems
looking
about
at here.
correct. Like night 13.
Yeah,
like
that looks right.
Day 14. Yeah, that's 2
Yeah.
weeks.
It looks fine on mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So it's just
on
mine
my
that's borked up. Just the
mine
one that
looks
the
good.
viewers see.
Yeah, just the important one.
Great.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Also, I'm going to clear out the current Wingle digits on screen to give Jake a chance to have his face on screen at all.
I appreciate that. That means a
Feel
lot
free
to
to
me.
immediately invalidate it, chat, and that's fine too.
Yeah, it's just
You're-
motivation. If you really don't like my face, just do it.
Yeah.
Like, go for it.
Every time you cheer bits, you get closer to leveling up to level 3. We'll talk about what you got for reaching level 2 when we release it in the next stream, like all the spells you can cast and stuff. Cool. You guys are in charge.
Alrighty.
All right, boys. This is how it's gonna go down. Okay.
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 I think we shouldn't drag these Post-it notes. Whatever we do, we just gotta copy them, right? And I want this to look like the male conspiracy from It's Always Sunny. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going hard.
We're going deep. Well, in the center should be the Bright World Company, obviously. That's like the big thing in the
I
middle of
agree.
everything.
Where should we
I was
start
gonna say
building our board?
maybe underneath. Can we bring it back and like kind of in that space? Like
I'm going to reserve the lime green color for my notes that I scribble and lines
Okay.
that I contribute.
This is
Oh.
basically an infinitely scalable whiteboard, I think, by the way. So you
Yes.
can just kind of use space wherever you want and keep dragging it around. Don't worry too much about making it fit. I will be zooming into your whatever you're doing, so chat will see what you do. Don't worry about that.
I'm gonna be orange. We should all have different colors. So we
okay.
can...
How do I change?
know
Oh,
what's
I
going
see how to
on.
change it. I'll be light blue.
Hi, my name's Matt. I'll be writing in orange tonight.
I'm not sure what this is referencing, but I laughed.
He's just acting like we haven't done the intros yet because everyone is claiming a color now.
Okay.
All right.
Funny
I put
joke.
the Bright.
Wow, Jake, you just had to ruin that one, didn't you?
Yep. Like I always do. That's just me.
All right. I see where you're starting.
right, so we're starting with the Bright World Company and
Yep.
their emblem
That-
of a circle bisected by a vertical line.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
Oh.
If you draw a circle, it auto like I know what you're trying to do and does a perfect circle.
I wonder if it does that with other shapes. No. Yeah. Nice.
Bruh. Sorry,
We've
we've never used Microsoft Whiteboard before. And we're just like, conspiracy time. Wait, I control circles.
Alrighty. So,
All right,
We've
Dig
got the
Site
Bright World
6. Dig Site 6, I think, is a direct connection, right?
absolutely.
So let's find direct connections to the Bright World Company, and
Yeah.
we'll outlay them. Work our way out, okay?
Okay.
One other
So-
way, just as another suggestion, another way that I've seen this done is to start with the questions at the center. So like you could pick one of the questions and then put all the pieces that you think are related to answering that question around it, and try and use that to like collect your thoughts. You guys do whatever you want. That's just another thought that I had.
I got you. Watch this.
I don't know
It's
if you know
about
this,
to-
Josh, but actually the first step in solving a conspiracy is to never ask questions. So, I don't think we're gonna go with that one, but thanks.
There you go.
Well, so instead of like each of us having our own colors, shouldn't the colors dictate like the connection type? Like a location could be one color, then like a person could be a different color. Like, isn't it color
No.
coded by?
That's too much logic. Stop. Get
No.
out of here.
What are they up to?
What they doing?
How do I type? How do I add text? I see
Oh, wait.
text.
I need to make that a bigger.
What is
Needs
the
to be
Bright World
bigger.
Company up to?
So we know that the Bright World
How?
Company is making Wingle digits. We know that they're making ciphers.
Yes.
We know that Wingle digits are made from sacrium,
Yes.
hot compacted sacrium. We know that there's like also a process that happens to them before, like that we're unfamiliar with. Like when Jeb
How many
was looking,
dig sites do we know about?
it's on the map, on the Underdark map.
Oh,
You know
okay.
of 10 dig sites.
10 dig sites. Okay.
Because they like poured the molten sacrium in, and then they pulled them out, did a thing, and then they poured another layer on top of them, another layer of sacrium on top of it. So there's something other that's going on with the Wingle digits.
Fair. That does make
True.
sense. I would like to know how they're like. We know that sacrium is what powers the Wingle digits, and that like these flows of magic kind of create the sacrium. But like, how is that connected to magic actually being
Well,
gone?
So this is what I'm thinking, right? What if? So I'm definitely. I think we're all on board with the idea that somehow they're siphoning magic from its source, right?
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps in the world of Uroda, like magic has like sources that it flows from, and they have somehow managed to find these sources and siphon it away. But what I'm curious about is sacrium natural? Like, has sacrium existed before the darkening?
Sure.
Because we always were on the idea that maybe it was made by the magic that's missing. But what if it's always been there? So yeah, I don't know. I think that's an interesting thing to come up with.
Yeah,
question.
I'm writing that down. I think I wrote occurring wrong. Yep.
DM, if we scooch over to the overworld map, I don't see Red Hill on here.
Let me scooch my infinite whiteboard.
Are we just dig site?
Oh, Red
dig
Hill
site
is
1,
underground.
dig site 2, dig
Red
site
Hill
3.
is indicated on your Underdark map. The dirt tunnels are between the overworld and the Underdark, so I wasn't sure which map to put them on. And since you had spent most of your time so far in like underground, I just combined them on the map that you were mostly using. So,
Gotcha.
But Red Hill is kind of in like its own little middle ground there vertically,
Where-
and so would Tumbleweb be.
Would you be able to point out on the map, Underdark or Overworld, your choice, where we encountered those grates in the ground that had like the flow of magic going through
Oh,
it?
absolutely, I could. I'll do it on the Red Hill map here. Let me grab a little inking tool. We shall ink.
Grates in the ground. Grates
know
in
the
the
difference
ground.
between all
Looking like
these.
a
Let's
fool with your
use-
grates in the ground.
We're going to use white-ish ink here to make it really visible. Okay, so when you lovely folks met each other, you were, relative to the Underdark, you were up here. Oh, come on. There we go.
If you want to mark the hex, I'll draw it in.
Okay, yeah, you were up here. And then the underground stuff that you found one right here. You went to Red Hill, and then you found Circles' little crack den right here. Or thereabouts.
Oh, didn't mean to
But
move
then-
that, sorry.
From the crack den, remember, you found your way to a way station. That way station was, let me find it, down here. It was this side of Red Hill. This is the way station. And from there, Owlin's war buddies, who were trekking north, gave you a ride to a spot indicated on your map. And that spot was over here. So that's where you were. That's how we wound up at Dig Site 6, I should say.
Nice.
Hopefully all that made sense as
I think so.
as I marked it. I did my best.
You tried
Alright,
so hard and
so-
got so far, and in the end, it was pretty helpful.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, chat. Sorry if I zoom in and out a lot on you. I'm just trying to make sure that I can see where all the action is on the whiteboard here, because we got a
Zoom
lot.
in, zoom
We got a lot
out.
happening down here as well.
Dude, I'm just adding stuff. So right now, he's adding a bunch of the dig sites as question marks, right?
Yeah, if we go to more, then we can add stuff.
Right. I'm just vocalizing for the sake of the audio people, okay?
Yeah.
Good.
Good call, Matt.
So right now we have the Bright World Company. The questions written on here is like, what is it company up to? How are Wingle Digit Sacrium connected to the loss of magic? We know we've been to Dig Site 6, and we know the dig sites are where Sacrium is mined, so we have a connection there. Dig Site is owned by the Bright World Company, so we have a connection there. And ciphers use Sacrium. I don't know if they're produced at dig sites, but I did connect it, just a tentative arrow.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, ciphers are the product of the Bright World Company, so there's a connection there.
We do know that ciphers are not produced at Dig Site 6. That's a thing that Jebediah learned when he spent his day watching the refining process. So that's one thing you know, but you don't know about the other dig sites.
Then we also have the dark site. That's right. That's the last one.
Oh,
Dark
and we also wrote down the question we brought up earlier about whether or not Sacrium's natural.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a lot of clues, boys. We gotta get moving here.
You could call us the Clues Boys.
Clues, boys. Actually,
Sorry guys, I have to take a call real quick.
Oh
My
my
is
goodness.
calling me.
You're no
It's
longer
from his
a
network.
Clues Boy.
Clues boys, we're on a mission from Kelnar.
Yep, exactly.
can I reorganize these dig sites?
I mean, you're gonna have to reorganize the arrows if you do that, but I mean, I don't even know why I'm saying it like it's a problem with me. I didn't do it.
Chad, I
Go
agree
for
with
it.
you. It's a clue call. That's where
Okay.
Trevor went. He had a clue call.
Yep.
He's going to come back and he's going to know the answer.
Yeah.
Oh, I like how the arrows attach.
Oh, they did. Cool.
This is not what I was intending.
If you tap the pen, there's a little arrow function at the bottom. You can toggle that on and off.
What's up here at the top? Oh, there's
Oh.
more dig sites. Okay. Chat, also, if you want me to zoom in on something or show you other information, let me know, and I will also be your guide to the conspiracy board.
I am the
That's also
Watcher,
fine.
and I am your guide to the conspiracy board. And I invite you to ask the question, what if we were good at D&D? Whoa.
That's
So-
mind bending.
Yeah.
Dig Site 7 is
Oh,
that's where the
shoot.
that's where the money is going to.
Josh,
Oh, should we keep that one separate? I was just gonna group them all together.
What's up, Jake?
my Audacity
single
reverted
arrow.
to 44.1 instead
That's okay.
of 4. Okay, all right. I just realized that. Never mind. Technical issue, not issue. Technical non-issue solved.
In post, these are simple things for
Okay,
me.
great.
It's
cool.
only when they're live that they're not simple things for
Okay.
me.
No worries. All right. Sweet. So are we focusing on reorganizing these dig sites or just getting them out of the way because we haven't gone to them yet?
Getting them out of the way.
Okay.
How do I? There's a bring to the front.
The moment Trevor leaves, we undo all of his work. Love it. That's what we want to do.
Yes, that's actually my plan all along. Was to immediately just get rid of everything he was doing.
Sweet. All right. Good thing.
I'm back. Sorry.
All right.
No. I am awesome. This is not pre-recorded. We're seeing your chats right now. We turn this into a podcast in case you haven't heard, in case we haven't mentioned that tonight. What we do after these is I take all the audio, we record our own audio, and I mix it into the podcast. That's why our podcast sounds so baller.
It does sound like a basketball.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So that makes sense.
What did I have? What have I managed to do? What have I done? Okay.
What
have I
you
managed to done? That's going in the quote book.
What have you managed to done? You tell me. I want to know.
I drew an arrow, but it was really big. It was a big arrow.
That was my nickname in high school.
Wrong. Big arrow. Yeah. All right. So let's stay on topic here. I know. All right. So I reorganized the dig sites because they were cluttering. I feel like we don't know anything, so there's no point in putting them close to the.
Oh yeah, sorry. I just they're attached to it.
Dig site 7, gold and wingle digits are being shipped there. So what do we think's happening at dig site 7? There's definitely something.
That's the
happening.
distribution site, where like everything's funneled there, and then they exchange stuff with the surface.
Maybe.
Is that could be?
Is it? Do we know that for sure?
No.
Where was it
Okay.
in the Underdark?
We're heading there,
Yeah.
so we're not sure for certain.
If we look back at the map.
That's what I've just zoomed in on the map for chat as well, so you can see.
So, depending on if Red Hill is one of the few connections to the rest of the network, maybe 7 is how they get back out of the Underdark back to the surface. That could be like their way. I really doubt that that's the only way, but Red Hill is right there.
Tumbleweb, it looks like it's like directly on top of all of this too.
True.
And that would be like about above the dark site. There's also a lake there, which is a little odd. I'm not sure what the significance of that is.
Odd
but...
for a lake to be somewhere.
Well, to be directly on top of the center of this.
Oh. Something's going down in the. Okay, so
what
wait.
you know about
That's
going
interesting.
down in the deep?
Because
Sorry. All right.
let's not forget. Actually, is it over here? Yes. I'm glad I found it immediately. I'll drag it down. But the clue that we found that strange room, inside the office of the overseer. I'm just gonna use that word. And it was just a underwater passage.
Yeah.
So what if there's like some?
Oh yeah. Didn't
all
we
these are,
theorize
like-
there's some merfolk whereabouts?
Yes, that could be
Okay.
it. See how the rivers run to different dig
The
sites?
river runs through it, you could say.
I believe if you have a look at it might be session 9 or 8, the one with Vokaru, I believe you have a merfolk-related clue there.
Hold on, let's see. No, the one with session 9 was Matt and Wash. So session
Chat
10
has a suggestion for you also. Is the Underdark more or less ruled by drow? If so, that might imply whoever is running the dig sites are in cahoots with the drow. Otherwise, the drow would be raiding them, I would think.
So we don't know. I do know during the world building, this is out, a little meta knowledge, that drow
This is a meta show,
were a
don't worry about
thing. Drow were a thing, but I think they were more active.
Yeah.
Or at least we talked about them more on
they
the
suffered a
other
great
side.
defeat in a big war at some point and are now way less powerful than they used to be, right?
And that was all on the east side of Urda, and we're on the west side. So I don't even know if their influence spreads as far.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
The clue we have is there used to be merfolk who swam up the river as it leads to the whole way to their underwater city, Natiri?
Yes, Natiri.
All right, I'm going to put these two get together then.
Now that you mentioned that, if you go back to the Underdark map, we do know that the water flows a specific direction. Um,
I'm coming back up there. Sorry.
no, you're fine. And that would point it towards the lake.
Oh.
Where
All
was the
roads, all rivers lead to Tumbleweb. All roads lead to Rome.
where was the Merfolk city again?
The Merfolk city of Nauteri is actually labeled on the Underdark map. It looks like ground, but that's actually water. I just didn't have a water tile when I made the map, and I didn't make one, so that's on me. But the Nauteri down there is actually the Merfolk city, so it's underwater.
Okay, so they can take the ocean into that river, and then that river leads straight to Tumbleweb.
Yeah, and to be clear, the gray boundaries are just where Underdark ends and ocean begins, because this continent borders the ocean on all sides.
If you wait. If you think about it, then does that mean that this coastline of Uruda, at least at that point, is so deep that it touches the Underdark? Because that sounds like some Mariana's Trench kind of stuff.
Here is the map of Uruda's overworld with Nauteri labeled.
Josh's
So you
favorite
can see
band.
sort of where we're looking. Here's Tumbleweb.
The ocean exists in the Underdark too.
No, the continent ends. So like that gray. I'm just saying that gray border is where the continent ends. So like there's just ocean out there.
Okay.
It's not a surface ocean. I'm just saying that's where the end of the continent is.
Got it.
It's not a surface ocean. Is the ocean just in space? What's going on with the ocean?
I just meant that the gray is not a different kind of stone that continues out in the distance. The gray is bedrock. You can't mine it. You can't use it. It's just a boundary you can't go through. These players, I swear, chat.
World of Urda is Minecraft confirmed?
Yeah, we're actually.
That's the real conspiracy.
I actually played one shot where we used Minecraft as our D&D, like as a 3D visualization of our map.
I tried
it
that
worked
once,
okay.
but I didn't like it.
Like it wasn't the best thing ever, but it was kind of fun. Anyway,
Let's recenter on our conspiracy board.
What do we know about dwarves in?
What you
in
know about
Florida?
dwarves down in the deep? Mining down in the. Okay, go ahead.
Get out of here, Jake. So I think we haven't really met any except for the recently, right?
The Duragar.
Yeah, that's the Duergar is different than dwarves. I mean, they're related, but like a long time ago related. The reason I ask is because the spike pit traps that the magic flow was going through were in rooms of dwarven construction.
Right.
And looked like they were made of dwarven construction. But I was wondering, I don't know if we've run into any other dwarves yet.
True.
Unless
No.
Dwagar would construct things similar to dwarves.
You haven't run into any other dwarves yet in like the surface world or whatever. You haven't really been to the surface world, but we do know from the introduction to our last session that Dabbledob Bathlestone, CEO of the Bright World Company, made his product announcement in the Dwarven kingdom of Udril to the north, and we know that it was well received.
True,
I don't know if that's useful to you or not. That's just a dwarf-related thing that we know.
They exist, and they have a kingdom. It's just I don't know. We haven't seen them at all, which is a little odd if they've made construction. They constructed rooms, right?
True. Yeah, it's like it is a little interesting of like their work is very obvious in this place, and yet we don't see any evidence of them still occupying it or anything like that.
It could just we could be overthinking it. It could just be some like the equivalent of mercenary hire, like some contractors were hired to do the job and then they left. For all we know.
Do we know any dwarves who are like big wigs in like the Brightwell Company or the Summit Banking Guild or anything like that?
Wasn't there a dwarf in the company of that guy that brought the letter to Fox the first time? There was some snooty noble delivery like.
I thought that was a gnome.
I also thought
I'm
it was
pretty
a
sure
gnome.
that was a gnome, but I can pull up my notes and have a look
I also
for you.
thought it was a gnome, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's a gnome. Let me check though.
Okay.
But we don't know him for sure.
I think it was a gnome named Reginald.
I see what you
Reginald.
did there.
Reginald. We don't know
Right.
him
I never-
for sure.
Oh no, Reginald was your messenger. His name was Sir Reginald Avery.
Sir Reginald Avery.
Yeah, I don't remember his gnome companion's name, but I'm pretty sure it was a gnome.
He's just gnome.
You just gnome.
Hey, Ari in the
If you know
chat.
him, you know him.
Hey, besties.
Ari!
We're
Hello,
making a
bestie.
conspiracy board for our own campaign.
I'm trying to figure out the plot. Yes, he was traveling with a gnome, not a dwarf.
Let me just go ahead. I'm gonna start just moving stuff. All right, because we gotta
Move it around.
We gotta schmoove. Okay, we gotta schmoove a little bit.
Shake it up.
Yeah, I've been adding a few.
I'm zooming out just so Ari
go.
can see. These are all the clues we've collected so far in the campaign, and tonight they're trying to use them to decipher these 3 big questions. Where did the magic go? Why did the magic go? Can we bring it back? If you want to see something, chat, ask me, and I will direct you there.
If you see
Otherwise, I'm
something,
letting them
say
work this
something.
out, and I'm just following the action here. So this is the new clue they've just grabbed.
A new Blues Clue, you could say.
These
my
are
God.
Fox's visions that he's looking at right now, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm pulling down if there's anything related to those visions, to see if there's any connections, right? That I feel like if we can somehow connect that symbol to the Bright World Company or find out what the connection is, that would definitely be interesting. Because it wasn't the connection that we have so far is that they built the trapdoors.
You have seen the trapdoors. This is actually mentioned somewhere in one of your other clues, but the trapdoors have the emblems of the Bright World Company, Isaiah Barnaby Mechanical, and in one case, you saw a shimmering, like, arcane casting of the broken rod over the anvil on one of them.
And which one's the broken
Okay.
water rod over the anvil? Do we know?
That's the one that's in Fox's vision that he's currently
Got it.
asking
Okay,
questions
okay, cool.
about.
So we don't. Besides the fact, I don't. Is that written in one of our clues?
I think it's written in the one where you find the spike trap rooms, probably the one with circles.
I see the Isaiah Barnaby.
Barnaby.
And if not, you can always make a sticky note for that.
True.
Why?
Let's make it.
Why the heck are the spike traps spike traps?
That is a good question.
Do we
Like- The John in me wants to know, like, is like a Minecraft mob farm? Is it supposed to be for like creatures that fall down and then their life energy gets sucked out of them?
I don't know.
what
That
did
is
we-
weird. Yeah.
What did we call the creatures that we fought in the Crackden?
Creatures.
You
Crackers.
just called
I'm
them
just kidding. We'll
spooky, I
get
think.
demonetized.
Just spooky.
Crackheads.
they were crackhead. Oh,
Sacrium heads.
Yeah, crackheads works.
all right, let's try not to use.
I mean,
You know, in the
They're-
crack den, the crack
Yeah.
den.
Drug abusers.
Drug
They're
abusers.
drug abusers.
people in need of help.
The people in need of
that
help.
we just killed.
Yeah, that we helped them. I don't know what else to say. Like that's.
They were beyond
Yeah.
help.
No, that was the only way to
Right.
help. We helped.
What are we calling them?
I mean,
For the stream and conspiracy board's sake.
Call them
yeah, I would say
crackheads.
crackheads works for
Okay.
me.
Call
Okay.
them spoopies.
Spoopies. That's a good name.
Okay.
Spoopies.
That's what happens when you take too much spooprium.
Yeah, I hate it when that happens.
It'll get you.
kind of comes back to bite you the next morning for sure.
Oh, we got something over here. I didn't look at. What are we looking at over
What are
here?
you looking at?
Ah, the spoopy assassin who killed anyone that might interact with the trapdoor in the crack den. Sent by the moose.
Wait.
True.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. With the name, what's the name? Machitu.
Machitu.
Okay. With it spelled out like that, I thought it was someone memeing. I was like, "What? That's not real." But it is real. I remember now. Especially sent by the moose. I was like, "What moose?" Sometimes fantasy things sound like jokes until you think about it, and then you're like, "Actually, that's pretty cool and awesome." And it happened.
Jake trying to backpedal so he's not mocking my name.
I'm deeply disturbed right now, just having discovered that Sacrium is spelled with a K. and not a
Me
C.
too. I felt the
I
same
thought
way.
it was always spelled with a K.
If it helps, almost every word that I invent for a fantasy world is based in the root of Latin or Greek language. So like
I thought you were gonna say
Sacrium has a translation.
Oh, cool.
And that's, so like those words, their spellings are not arbitrary. I didn't do it just to do it to you.
I thought you were gonna
I-
say
you know.
something like that. Like, fun fact: every fantasy word I make up is actually spelled the exact opposite way I think you guys will expect it. So, like, that's on purpose. Like,
Hey, I just learned how a cry spells his name because I put down in my notes literally the words "a cry."
Wait, where is it? Where's a cry's name?
I need you guys to guide me through what you're doing here for the listeners and for the chat, so I know what to focus on.
Sorry, I'm just like writing out some information that I don't know
What's
if
the
it'll
information?
lead to anything. I'm just putting the Crackden, the Spoopies, and Machitu, like connecting them together. So for Spoopies, I put what happens when you are on Sacrium for too long.
Yep, makes
And
sense.
then for Machitu, I'm putting what happens when you're tasked with guarding a trapdoor from Spoopies.
You know a little bit about what happens when you're on Sacrium for too long because I made you roll a save for it the first time you took Sacrium. So I'll give you that one actually. Let me look up the exact description so I don't get it wrong here.
Wait, did I Am Awesome go figure out the Latin definition? Because if it means sacred bones, that is probably a big hint.
I will neither confirm nor deny what I Am Awesome has said.
I think that's a confirmation in that case.
Well, if you
Sacred
I'm going to
bones.
point your attention to what Circles called the drug when you interrogated him, which
It
is
was
in your
the
clue
knowledge
list
of
as
fire,
well.
right?
So, chat.
Or the fire of knowledge, not the knowledge.
Yeah,
of
the fire of knowledge is what Circles called it.
Oh, we got to get him on this board too.
Oh yeah.
He's the big orange circle in the middle.
Ba, ba, beeda, ba, 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 da, 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 da.
The first half of that song, I thought you were going Power Rangers, and then I don't know where you went after that.
What is it? Calamari? Calamari? Yeah. You know, you roll the ball. Somebody.
Calamari
knows that, right,
is
please?
squid.
That's
Oh
right.
shoot, you're right. What is that
Okay.
game called?
Here's what you know about the consequences of using Sacrium.
Okay.
You know that after your first use of Sacrium, when the high wears off, you take a -2 to intelligence, and you need to roll against a DC of 1 for that to become permanent. That's what you've learned so far. And that's after your first
Dang.
use of Sacrium.
After first use, it was a -1 to intelligence.
Yes.
More like knowledge gets
-2.
fired.
-2 to
-2.
intelligence.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I do not know how to spell, so I'm sorry to everyone if I misspelled this word.
It's okay. We're not zoomed in far enough to see what you're writing right now. Also,
So-
chat, we got some nice mysterious music in the background here, courtesy of Keyvine McLeod.
I think it's
Anyway,
Keyvine McLeod, my favorite author of royalty-free music. I don't know why author came to mind there. That's not
that's
not
fine.
how that works.
Wash was about to talk, and I cut him off.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So I'm delving down this trapdoor rabbit hole a bit. I'm pulling some similarities. We ran into the Dwarven trapdoors. They have spikes on the bottom, and they like spring. They go down, and then once the pressure's off of it, it springs back, right? So it like traps whatever is in there. The spikes are formed into some sort of rune shape, like almost like, pinpricks. But some other things that we've seen. Owlin, you had a dream where your battalion fell into a trap that turned into a bunch of arcane equations and sigils.
Yeah.
And then the avatars were also stuck down in like these traps.
Oh yeah, are they like, maybe the implication is these traps are like siphoning energy from the avatars, and like maybe the traps themselves are like the little, like it siphons from trap to trap.
Maybe the traps were prototypes,
Maybe.
and then pulling life energy from creatures wasn't significant enough, and so they found a way to do it in a larger scale with avatars.
Maybe. I still think like it's like, why did we still feel magic flowing through them? Like I said, maybe it's like the magic that's being pulled from the other traps from the avatars is like being transmitted to the other traps, which are transmitted further up the chain. I don't know. Also,
If we're going to talk about like connections, right? it's definitely like they got to be focal points, right? Like they're like repeaters or just nodes to make the connection easy. Sorry,
No, I was gonna say also. I think Grubbug suggested the game that you were searching for the name of. Is it Katamari Damacy? Is that?
Yes. Thank you. You roll the ball, and the ball gets bigger, and then you roll up the world. It's a fun game.
Oh,
anyway, sorry.
that seems interesting.
Huh. So
It's a classic.
Whoa, you can like roll up buildings and stuff.
Yeah, eventually.
Whoa.
yeah, eventually, yeah.
That looks crazy.
Hey, bring it back, buddy.
Hey, no, I'm just sorry. It just seems cool. I don't know.
This also doesn't answer where magic went, and why it went. So, like,
Well, our theories.
do we think that? Do we think
sorry.
that the Bright World company is responsible for magic disappearing?
Absolutely.
Well, that's actually a really interesting thing, right? What if they're just taking advantage, right? What if Sacrium was always there and they discovered it and they're just taking advantage of the fact now that, it's gone, they're like, oh, we got to harvest this stuff because we're going to make gold, right?
Well,
like this is
I
liquid
think that
gold
is a
now.
reasonable theory. I personally suspect that they are responsible. However, I think we can't rule out the idea that they may not be. It's like could be just a coincidence, and they could be just taking advantage of it.
Counter theory.
Go for it.
They discovered Sacrium and they tried to roll out Wingle digits, but like their early like release beta test didn't really go well because people were like, no, we got gold. This is what we use.
And like
No one
magic's
was
already a
interested
thing.
in.
Like, why do I need this utility in my life? Like, yeah.
Exactly. And so
Right.
then Bright World was like, well, we can't sell these, and we've already made too many of them to like chalk it up as and just move on.
Mhm.
So they're like, all right, well, let's get rid of magic, and then everyone will come to us. And then
Maybe.
that's my theory. They or maybe that's not the exact reason, but I think they had Wingle digits and then caused the emping of magic themselves in
I
order
will
to sell
say-
them.
Either way, we cannot ignore that they immediately profit
Yeah.
from this
Yeah.
happening.
Like they were ready to go like what, 2
well,
years after magic was emped
Mhm.
completely?
But that's 2 years, right? So they had the prototype maybe ahead of time. That also, the fact that it took 2 years, right? If they planned this, they could have just ramped up production, kept it secret, and then the second magic went away, introduced it immediately.
Yeah.
But it took 2 years for that
True.
to happen.
Well, they didn't want to be suspicious because if they introduced it right away, then it'd be obvious
Don't
that,
be
that it was
suspicious.
artificial.
Don't be suspicious.
They're playing mind games. They're playing the long
I
game.
don't know. I definitely think if they had already tried rolling it out, they don't need to hide the fact, right?
Sure they do. If people have heard of it before, then
I do think
they just
Chat
get
says they
suspicious.
believe Bright World is part of the cause.
Thank you, chat.
Well, okay, so let's also think of this. If Bright World is the cause of magic disappearing, is magic gone, or has it just been suppressed?
I think it's been suppressed as your magic works. There's still some reminiscent magic in the plants, and obviously the Wingle digits have magic. So magic's not completely gone. It's just changed.
I think
form.
wherever
like-
magic casting and divine casting used to come from, right now is being channeled into Sacrium and whatever is like the forces behind making Wingle digits.
I definitely I'm on the boat that it's
Nope.
been redirected. An analogy being you have a river delta, right? And that's like everybody at the river delta is enjoying the free water, and then somebody all the way at the water source just immediately redirected it completely, and so now the delta dries up.
All right. Hear me out. So, Bright World Company discovers some ancient, hidden, forbidden secret on how to trap like demigods or whatever. And so they spend the 2 years fully realizing that ideal that they had in trapping the demigods or avatars in order to prevent them from interfering or to suck their magic away. And so a lot of that 2 years was probably spent just like trying to get or create the scenarios in which they could reasonably capture them.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Like they had this whole idea from the start, and that was the first part of the plan. And trapping an avatar is probably no small task.
A couple interesting points. avatars have limited magical resources. At least that's what we've gathered from Fox and Jeb's episode,
Right.
where the Dwagar, what was his name?
Vondal Frostbeard.
Vondal. He had received, like, an avatar had given her magic, had like condensed it and given it to him, and as he used it, it like consumed it, and she would essentially cease to be afterwards. As a company making Wingle digits from avatars, that is a limited resource.
Sure.
Well,
But also, if this whole thing of creating Wingle digits from the avatars, which is a limited resource, I don't think we know if the avatars are what permeate magic into the world. Like, it feels like there has to be
More.
Something else.
Well, yeah, I mean that's up for debate, but I think they definitely needed the avatars at least out of the way
You're
because
right.
they're too powerful. Otherwise, they just interfere and stop them.
I gotta say, avatar wise, right? What if that's one thing, right? What if they're not actually siphoning the avatars? What if the avatars are just being trapped
Yeah.
to stop the gods acting? But two, what if they usually are not limited, but they're suffering the same consequence as everyone else, and they're cut off from their patron, right?
Maybe.
So that's why it's limited now, because whatever they had, whenever it was, magic was cut off, is what they have. And they're avatars, so of course they're going to have a lot of magic, ability. It's just, that's all they have.
We got some
Yeah.
good theories from chat. We've got what's to say the vaults and trapdoors are stopping the flow of magic. Like, maybe that's different. Like, maybe that's a thing that already existed. Or, like, you know what I mean?
I don't think they're stopping the flow of magic. I think they're directing it somewhere, like redirecting it, like we said.
And then I always worry whether I'm pronouncing it right.
Belly. He said call him Belly.
Belly says, what if the avatars are being held captive and forced to make the Sacrium? Which I think is interesting. Like, that kind of plays into our question of, like, did Sacrium exist before?
That's an interesting thing, right? Because when we went to the dig site, Sacrium is, like, infused in mind. It's infused with the, the rock in its mind. But the fact, well, this is a point against Sacrium being natural, right? Is the fact that it seems like it's a big upset, right? That all of a sudden people are mining Sacrium. You even see it with the creature that we passed, right? Covered in Sacrium around its mouth.
Sure.
Perhaps it is like they're spawning ore deposits near the dig sites.
What if it's mass transmutation? What if they somehow harnessed the avatars to mass transmute dirt or whatever in this huge radius and essentially created an ore deposit of Sacrium? Because the Sacrium's in the dirt. It's not in the ores. They sift the ores out. Remember, like, with the columns? They sift the ores out, and then there's, like, dirt down at the bottom, and then they just kind of, like, and refine it a little bit.
I mean, like, I think maybe I'm the only one who has this view at the moment, but I think Sacrium's naturally occurring. They just had no real use for it, and for whatever reason, the properties of Sacrium absorb magic. Like,
oh,
someone
interesting.
just randomly stumbled upon that, and then just the way Sacrium acts chemically, it's really conductive of magic. And so they found that out, and they're like, oh, we got something here. And that was like the whole start of their whole plan.
I will say a point in your favor is the fact that the Flumps never really brought it up.
Sure.
Right? You'd think as natural creatures living down there before the dig sites, they might have mentioned, like, and, this new resource popped out of nowhere, and it's making all the natural creatures really crazy, and, like, they didn't mention that. They just mentioned the people traveling between dig sites and such.
There is the Zorn, though.
The first thing I want to tell you is because of Jeb's history as a dirt folk and part of a race that basically tunnels for a living, this is not a material that at least Jeb has ever heard of existing before. It's not something they teach about commonly in elementary dig or whatever that class you came up with was. Fundamentals of digging might have been it. And the other thing is, chat asks, what if the Sacrium itself is the reason for the loss of magic? Someone wished Sacrium into being, and Sacrium absorbs magic and concentrates it within itself.
Ooh, a wish spell
Continue.
was interesting.
That would be interesting.
I think that theory would, in a way, reflect how it happened in the world building, where it was like a chat request of like, okay, big event, magic is gone. Like a wish spell would solve that in a quote unquote like lore accurate way. You know what I mean?
But we still have rivers of magic.
So going like extra
Sure.
meta here, I think Josh is much more calculated than it was just a wish.
I could see the wish spell theory working
I take that as a
if it
compliment.
has backstory. But the fact that Josh just took that as a compliment, metagaming here, makes me think that it's not that. But
I can feel complimented, and it could still be that.
Yeah.
true.
I'm just saying, I just knowing like again, super meta, just knowing Josh as a person, I think he thought this out and like
Well, yeah, I
planned it
I
when chat-
don't doubt that. Belly does say though, potentially if that first thing was true that he predicted, then maybe once all the Sacrum is mined, the magic would come back, which I think is an interesting idea.
I wouldn't say
For
mind,
your
I'd say
use.
used.
In case it's helpful, and if you want to write this down as a clue, since we're talking about the wish spell theory. Wish is a 9th level conjuration. It's instantaneous, and here is its description. Wish is the mightiest spell a mortal creature can cast. By simply speaking aloud, you can alter the very foundations of reality in accord with your desires. The basic use of this spell is to duplicate any other spell of 8th level or lower. You don't need to meet any requirements in that spell, including costly components. The spell simply takes effect.
Interesting.
Alternatively, you can create a number of other effects. See page 288.
So, going off the wish idea, if that's the case, let's say that, just say that Bright World creates, like, has this idea for Wingle Digits and stuff, and it, like, failed completely. It's like, no one was interested in it. So then the leader of Bright World is, like, this high-level caster. I just assume, like, the leader is probably very high in terms of skill.
Probably very high on Sacrium
So-
too, yeah.
So he's just like, man, I wish magic was gone. And then, boom, magic gone.
I think the caveat there with wish spell, and I know it says C2 page 288. But like there's no 8th level spell or below that's like makes magic all gone, right?
Yeah, but this falls into the breaks the fabric of reality. or
Sure.
whatever.
I guess that makes sense.
Like it's a 9th level spell. It can do a lot. I mean, it's obviously up to the DM on the scope of what can and cannot be done.
Well, you're changing reality, so that's it's pretty
Sure.
high up there. I'm
Sure.
just saying.
We have not yet met a 9th level spellcaster, it sounds like, but obviously like that's
I can't imagine there are many 9th level casters.
So, I just like to verbalize what I'm doing in the background.
Yeah, go for it.
So I'm trying to pull as much clues together as I can and put them on the board, right? I think what really helps, especially like in a lot of these conspiracy moments, right, where you're trying to figure stuff out, is the reason why you see the corkboard and why that's such a stereotype is because you want to put everything, you know, and start making even the simplest connections.
Yeah.
Right? Sacrium, ciphers, connection, right? Even though, like, we all know that. And eventually you'll find weird connections, like, wait a minute, so-and-so uses cipher, and then that so-and-so is from here, and that place is connected to that, and you can start drawing, you know, lines and conclusions. So in the background, while we're all talking, I've been pulling some information that I know for sure is tied together, and I've been trying to place it nearby other things that are related.
Hey guys, can I make one tiny little comment about our board?
what's that?
Go ahead.
We do not have the main event of Magic being gone on our board.
It's implied.
I just put the dark.
Yeah.
It's an implied
I just put
darkening.
It's implied.
It's an implied
Yeah.
darkening.
It's like the darkening is silent. Like my name's
Can I
Jacob.
just-
Come on,
with a
everybody
D, but the D
knows.
is silent.
Can I just put that in the
It's
middle
silent
with
but
Bright World
darkening.
Company? Wait, can these two share the circle?
I would put
I was
it in
gonna
its
say
own
we
circle.
we don't know.
Okay.
We don't know if whether they should share a circle. Like we can definitely suspect, and we're like are very sure, but I guess there's no way to like really like 100%
Here,
tell that yet.
I would put it down here.
Start its own circle.
Start its own circle. And if there is a connection, we can find it eventually,
Okay.
right?
We'll just connect them.
But yeah, that's the key to doing all this stuff, right? Is look for the surefire connections you know are true, and then from there you can start making your own conclusions.
There we go.
Matt
You
knows
know-
this because on the regular he conspiracy theorizes.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Don't worry about it, okay?
So who all here thinks that the Zorn died of suffocation, that it consumed sacrium and then grew gills, which it wasn't supposed to have, due to some body modification spell, and then died of suffocation in the air?
Oh, whoa.
It was attacked. It was attacked.
We're
right?
talking about the
Right,
creature
but
on the
we-
riverbed.
Yeah, but we determined that the cuts on it were not terminal.
Sure, but it must have happened mid-fight then, in that case.
No.
Uh,
I don't think we don't have no reason to believe that the
why would you cut a creature?
maybe they're
Why would you
battle
just
wounds from an unrelated incident. I'm just saying it's possible. Like there's no way to prove either way.
I mean, sure.
I
That's right,
personally
yeah.
I think that's a likely story, Wash. I think that would make a lot of sense.
You know, I forgot about this. At some point, somebody told my character, just a random stranger danger, not so safe to travel over ground these days. And the fact that Josh took the time to include that is either a red herring or there's something important to that.
Josh
Just-
red herring
I'm
us?
throwing that out there.
Josh
Would I
Josh
do
does
that?
have
Would I
somewhat
give
red
you
hair.
red
So
herrings?
I mean,
By the way, if you don't know what a red herring is, it is a clue
Bird.
that is there to mislead you. It goes nowhere. It's a dead end clue. You see it a
Wait.
lot in
I
mysteries.
thought herring was a fish, not a
detective
bird.
Stories.
Red herring tastes wonderfully.
Yeah, herrings-
when, sautéed and
herring's
served
a
over
fish,
rice.
not a
Wait,
bird.
wait.
A heron is a bird.
Paired with a nice Merlot 1988 wine. Okay.
Wait, Josh. Have we heard of Sir Topham Sav, CEO of Summit Banking, or is that just an
Yes.
out-of-game clue?
You've heard of him twice.
Okay.
Garthos Caraway mentioned him when he was product peddling for Wingle Digits in in Red Hill, and you also heard of him in Dabbledob Bafflestone's product announcement for Ciphers in Udril, because Ikrai the Smuggler wrote you a note telling you about that product release and what he said.
Oh, okay.
I think the first time me and Zoth our characters were not there.
Do we
But
have
that's okay.
Wingle digits on this board somewhere?
They're under concepts.
Oh, I meant, do we have it?
We
like,
don't have them on our board. No.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's put them there.
I'm running a poll with chat here to see if we give you guys one DM must be truthful question where you can ask me
Ooh.
something about one of your hypotheses or your connections
Dang,
or whatever.
that's dangerous.
We'll see if chat's benevolent to
That's
you or
very
not.
dangerous.
We've been hearing
we-
about. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, as real quick, as a gentleman's agreement between us, not the DM necessarily, but between us, let's not try to ask too broken of
know,
a
I
question
know.
if that's true, right?
The temptation is there, but
sorry.
I know what you mean.
Go ahead, Wash.
What was I going to say? I don't remember. The moment passed.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Tough.
Oh.
Oh, I remember what I
does
was
he
going to
remember what
say.
he's gonna say?
We've been hearing about tieflings recently.
Have we?
Yes. I forget where, but I remember that there were some tieflings that came up.
Perhaps look at your clues from the session with Alan's War Buddies.
Yeah.
That makes me feel like I should remember that.
down because everything else is big.
Well, it was a passing comment.
There was some. Oh, was there
but
some
I
casual
will-
racism going on? I feel like there was.
No,
Okay.
no. It was talking about their caravan
Ah.
route. The end of their caravan route, the north end, was a was a tiefling city.
Hey, I'm just waiting for when the seafaring spiders are somehow involved.
It wasn't that, Josh. I remember them mentioning the tiefling city, but I could have swore in one of the recent episodes there was actually a character that was a tiefling that was mentioned.
I have a horrible memory, and there are many people in my life that will corroborate that. But I don't remember that at all.
Was it Mavera? No, we don't know anything about Mavera.
Mavira.
Belly asks
Mavira.
whether other magical creatures have died off due to magic disappearing because he's not caught up on the lore. I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, dragons didn't die.
They just went to their human forms.
Well, they got stuck however they were.
That's true. Yeah.
Right. Because they can't do magic. That is an interesting concept, though. I don't think we've really seen any evidence either way. The only evidence we have is about the dragon, which I would say that dragons are inherently magical, right?
Yes.
So
Dragons
they're not
are very magical.
we met one, and he's not
True.
dead, and we know others exist that are still alive. People talk about them. So,
Are there any other direct connections to Wingle Digits?
Where are the Wingles? The Wingles of the digits.
I think there's a tentative connection between the avatars and Wingle Digits, but I don't want to make that connection.
We should definitely
right?
connect the Summit Banking Guild with Wingle Digits because,
Oh yeah.
I have Sir Topham Sav here.
you have him on the line.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have him on the line.
That's crazy.
For our podcast people, I have started a Wingle Digits chain. So we have Wingle Digits, which we all know is the magical currency that has been invented in light of darkening. So off of that, we have Sir Topham Sav, CEO of the Summit Banking Guild, which was probably the first guild to adopt Wingle Digits and start preaching about them. We have all the dig sites. Dig site 7 being the distribution chain that we think for Wingle Digits, and then dig site 6, which is the manufacturing dig site. And then we don't know what the other dig sites do, or if most of them are like manufacturing, or if they each one has an individual purpose. We don't know that yet.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. I'm putting things together.
Okay.
Ooh, puzzle pieces are clicking.
Yes, Wash?
The gears are turning.
The gears in my mind keep on turning.
I'm going to get more water, so if you need the whiteboard to move, you'll have to wait a couple minutes.
Okay, so I'm gonna read this in Jeb's voice.
Nice.
This is a day one clue. That Jeb, so his grandpa Cole, he got his journal.
Yeah.
And apparently I was given a bunch of journal entries in here that I don't think I ever read on stream.
No.
Okay.
So hold on. All right. So gather around. Here's what we're gonna do. I don't like to share this stuff too much because it's personal, but I think this might be relevant to our conversation. And so yeah. Anyway, it's this journal. The dates on this is from a long time ago, but there's these 3 specific days here: Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. The Monday entry says, "A strange folk rolled in today." Now remember, Grandpa Cole, he worked security and was like in one of them way stations, and so he was like, keeping tabs on things, kind of rolling through. Remember that one time when we got in there and that guy doing security was hounding us, Fox, and we had to like dip out. That was where we met a cry and got the meat sticks and stuff. Anyway,
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah. So Grandpa Cole used to do that. It says, "A strange folk rolled in today. Wouldn't give any real details about himself. 2 horns coming right out the top of his head, and tall as some of the tallest humans I've known. Skin all pale and purplish. Gives me a weird vibe, but maybe working security for the way station down here has made me paranoid. That's Monday. On Wednesday, so this is 2 days later, that same purple fellow's been acting off. Sits down for hours sifting through the dirt like he's looking for something. As if we would have missed ores or materials down here in the burrowing, and he skulks. I can't catch him actually doing anything wrong, but every now and again I see him peeking around a corner and whatnot. Think I'll go through his things tomorrow when he goes out. 2 days later, on Thursday. So I went through his things today, just after lunch. Weird journals in languages I've never seen before, and a scrap of cloth, no bigger than a kerchief or a bandana maybe, with some weird sigil on it. I ain't no artist, but it looked kind of like a fancy rod being smashed on one of them big smithy tools. I'm gonna confront this stranger tonight and see if he'll explain some of this to me. Might need to send him off if he won't.
No.
But hold on.
Okay.
So here's the kicker. The date on these things, the date for Thursday is the exact day that magic disappeared.
Gasp.
And I don't think I was able to determine how Grandpa died. But I know that it was a long time ago that he'd been decomposing for quite some time.
2 years, man.
I mean, Jeb, why didn't you mention this before?
I mean, I was just kind of flipping through it, and it didn't really seem like a priority at the time. But, I mean, honestly, somebody digging through the dirt in a dirt mining facility, I mean, that's not out of the ordinary. And wearing a handkerchief with a symbol on it, I mean, we didn't know nothing about that then. It's just only now that I'm kind of putting things together.
I do believe the fact that he was searching in the dirt before the magic left does imply the existence of Sacrium before the darkening. So does this support the idea that Sacrium was a natural resource before?
Hey, man, I've been saying it the whole time, you know?
This is hurting my head, guys.
I've only just realized, are we in character?
Yeah, right now we
yeah.
are.
I wanted to read the journal in character. So
We're responding in character, too.
Yeah.
And
I mean, Jeb, it sounds like your grandfather was describing a tiefling from the sounds of it.
Mm-hmm. And I thought we ran across a couple of those recently, but maybe it's just me thinking back to this and not thinking straight. I was thinking that there was some sort of official at the dig site 6 or something, but maybe I was off.
Do you know what where was this when this was happening, man?
This would have been back at the way station that you and I that we met at. It was, remember that way station was all what was it? It was all blocked off, and actually Jeb reaches into his pocket and pulls out a clump of silver. Remember, we found one of those crates, and
yeah,
I think
man.
Fox, I think you grabbed some gold out of it or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Those crates were the same one, and he like pats the crate on the cart full of wingle digits. Same kind of crate, same kind of ones that they were hauling ore off of dig site 6.
Interesting.
So there's apparently some sort of mining operation up there, but I mean, if they're sifting through the dirt, that sounds like the same process that they're doing at the bottom of the funnels on the towers where they mine from.
This is interesting.
The plot thickens.
While you guys let the ramifications of that sink in, I will let you know that the chat has spoken, and you do have a singular DM truth that you can spend as you will tonight.
Thank you, Chad.
All right. Huddle.
Team huddle.
Out of character huddle. All right. So we got to think. Yeah, we got to think about what we're doing with this question. Okay.
Jake, are you
I'm
joining
in
the
the huddle.
huddle?
Come on over here. Huddle,
Oh, I
huddle
see.
up.
So I have the conspiracy board pulled up, not the stream, so that's why I can't Okay,
There we go.
There you go.
we're huddled.
All right. It seems like we've just been contacted by a god who's willing to help us out here. So we got to think of a question. All right. We have a limited time, so we can only get to ask one question. So,
My arms are hurting.
I love that Josh is acting as Matt's arm extension. That's great.
Maybe we should ask him what happened to the magic, man.
Josh, make him touch your face. Sorry. Okay.
All right, focus.
I think
Okay,
it's.
I say we put a couple questions on the board, and we'll like think about them and vote on them, and then
One
like,
stipulation-
What do you
determine
mean? All the questions we
Okay.
need to ask are on
That's
the board.
true.
You don't need to ask right now. So to be clear, DM truth about one of your theories.
Oh, okay.
This is are we
Yeah, I
on
was
the
about
right
to say,
track
I
or
think,
not?
like-
DM truth, not a. I'm not gonna tell you the plot.
I think
Come
I was gonna say
on.
like maybe it might help if we ask a yes or no question, or like.
How do we win?
You also don't have to do it now.
I know,
like I
but
said,
I'm
you
just
have all night.
strategizing, Josh. I'm thinking about how we should go.
Okay.
So yeah, I think asking a yes or no help question might be a helpful thing to do. But
Alrighty. Well, we can ask
Okay.
later. Let's finish our brainstorming, and then when we get somewhere, we'll be like, this is where we're stuck the most.
For everybody's attention, if you look to the far
Matt, you always have my attention.
northeast of our board.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you, man.
Oh, you've made a lot of
that means a
circles.
lot coming from you. Well, I'm talking about the northeast. Don't look down. If you go upright, I've made questions ask the DM. If you ever think of anything, we can put it over there, and then we can come back to that and vote on that.
I'm
if you think of
refreshing
any
the whiteboard
questions-
because it stopped responding. So give it a second.
Oh.
I think Microsoft is mad I'm using Firefox.
Of course it is. It's not.
F's in the chat
Uh-oh.
for circles.
I mean, always.
We didn't have a chance to save him.
True. But yeah, I put it as a purple sticky. So you should be able to see that.
Oh, I see. I see. Is sacreatum.
You can see it because that's where it is.
Sacruatum.
Sacreum.
Sacramentarily.
Stacrium.
Oh, I see. We have a circle for the avatars over here as well.
The
Okay,
last
carry on as you were.
airbenders.
If we have an avatar circle, we could just put all the avatars over there real quick.
I think that'd be a good idea, yeah. I was just trying to find key core concepts that can't really be broken down further. And put them as nodes, right? To branch off of.
Do you need those names?
Are they not
Give me
listed
the
in our
names.
people entities?
Not individually.
Yeah, let's go over there and list that. And you know what, chat? If you didn't watch the original, you're about to learn
And heart.
about the avatars. There was fire, earth, water.
There's Laredith, the avatar of Owara. Owara being the god of innovation and trade.
Somebody else want to type that because I'm horrible at spelling normal English. Never mind. Otherwise,
Where? Oh, is someone doing it already?
I'm just putting down Post-it notes,
Okay, hold
man.
on.
I'm the guy who's just like, we got new ideas. I went over to the drawer and I just pulled out all the Post-it notes and I'm putting them on the
Okay,
corkboard. Okay.
what are the names
It's
again?
like
We've got Laredith, the avatar of Owara. We've got Dew Bumblefoot, the avatar of Zinir, god of order. We've got this sticky note getting jacked up.
dude, true. Come on, I mean, they're sticky notes.
Why-
They get
why
a little
can't-
sticky, you know.
Okay, go.
We've got Garlel, the avatar of Gomteus, which I've just made. And then you've got
Wait, you already made one?
Satonia. Only for Garlel.
I didn't see it.
You got Laredith, Dew Bumblefoot, and
Okay.
Garlel are on the board. And then we need one for Satonia, the avatar of Kotix, and one for Kay, the avatar of Kelnor. Also the avatar of the Men in Black.
Is K-A-Y or the letter K?
It's just the letter K. 1d10 force damage asks,
Oh.
what's the biggest lie I've told the party so far? That I
Ouch.
think they're going to succeed. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh,
Got him.
We all leave the chat. You're on the stream by yourself.
Burned.
never come back. The end.
Why
How
would you
could
do
this
DMs.
happen to me?
I'm just
I made a
playing. Chat can't
mistake.
spend your DM truth. They just gave it to you.
Well, if chat asks a question, you have to be truthful,
Yeah,
right?
we
That's
never
how
lie to
this
chat.
works.
Never, ever, never at all.
I have refused to answer questions before.
What was the shape in the middle of the Bright World Company map again?
Hey, wingle digits on my face. Let's go. Oh, they're not on my face.
Ayo, thank you for the
Let's
bits.
go.
1d10 force damage. Buy some burn cream.
Heyo.
And with that,
Oh,
chat
thank you,
moves a
man.
little closer to level 3 casting.
Nice.
I needed that, man.
Burn cream?
Yeah.
Fair.
Thank
was
you
feeling
so
pretty
much for the bits, chat. We really appreciate you. All of the money that you spend on us goes into making the streams better. None of it is like, the DM pockets that
100%.
and takes it
We
home.
would-
It's
we
not
would
it's not
murder
like
Josh
that.
if
We
that
put it
happened.
all back into making our
Oh, yeah.
streams better. Yeah.
We have like a whole list
Yeah.
of ideas and everything, and we're
We planned
putting
out
the
our
funding
year
into
with
that.
the things that we want to do to improve the channel, and we intentionally stopped them when the cost was $420 because we're the worst.
And then I think we came up with other
Nice.
things that would cost more, but we just put them on a separate list and added that total differently.
yeah, it's $420 plus, and then the rest of the
Exactly.
stuff.
That's what. Yeah, Josh pocketing
Alright.
the money
We should
is
have
what
a
conspiracy.
Patreon would
Would
be
be
for
nice.
if we had one. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. What's up?
I just was recentering us here on the conspiracy board. We are just over halfway through our stream.
There's so
Well,
much-
halfway through our longer streams. We end anywhere between 11 and
This is
midnight.
true.
So depending on your level of engagement and chat's level of enjoyment. So if chat hates it,
What
we'll
if
just
I
go.
hate chat? Huh?
Then
Okay.
you'll just go.
Fine. Leaves. Never comes back.
Chat, if it was
Ouch.
between you or Jake, we would kick Jake out of the band.
Dang.
Just saying.
After all that sweet talk earlier, gone. Darn. Tough. I know how it is.
What do we have down here? Oh, okay, we got tieflings next to the
We have-
darkening. Someone's connecting. the
we have two
tieflings
the
to
darkening circles.
here.
That's. I feel like that's
I know. I'm
gonna clean that up.
racist.
Do we?
Oh, do we?
Oh,
Oh yeah.
I'll back
that's
out
funny.
and let you clean that up. That's my bad.
Wait, did you start your own darkening circle, Josh?
No, all I have
zoom.
done is zoom in and out on things. I don't do
Zoom
stuff.
in,
You guys do
zoom
stuff.
out.
We're just watching. It's your conspiracy. I'm just living in it. 1 to
he's
10
just
force
vibing.
damage is raging.
Just
But
vibing.
it's Jake
Yeah,
Rage, so it's
exactly.
okay. We love Jake Rage.
Best kind of rage.
part of waking
I
up.
think. I know that's subjective, and I would be biased because I'm Jake. Is eating breakfast.
Quick vote. Is the Underdark considered its own circle?
Is it the ninth circle of hell?
Somebody drew the ninth circle of hell in the Underdark. I don't know who did that,
Oh,
but
it's
I
ninth
see
Ninth
it.
circle of heck.
Yeah, it's somebody did a beautiful. No, don't erase it. It's too late. No, I witnessed it. You can't remove it. I witnessed.
Witness
Hey, let's take
me.
a second.
Are you
Which
talking
of the
about what I did?
avatars have we seen in
Are you
dreams?
talking about in the Underdark? Because I see that.
Like affected in the traps and stuff. Cool.
Zothkug's dream is detailed.
Somebody read that
in
for me. Which
one
one
of
is
your
that?
session clues? Because he's the one who saw the flashes of avatars.
I'm finding it. Trying to find it.
Chat, I'm trying to navigate us to the
Hey,
avatar circle.
Zothvish 1. Torso of Dew Bumblefoot. Trapped in
So
an
it was
arcane
Dew.
sigil, damaging itself, trying to escape. Looks at you and says, "Find me." Zothvish. Yep. Zothvish 2. Garlel. Trapped in another arcane sigil. Setonia. In a mountain says we need to find and free them. Laerdeth. Trapped in underwater in a sigil.
Okay.
Yep.
Conveniently, they're all next to each other.
Conveniently.
So I went ahead and connected them to one of the clues that mentioned the trapdoors.
Satonia is the one that we encountered
Alrighty.
where she went to the dragon, the white dragon, for help, right? That was Satonia?
Yes,
Right.
she's connected to Vandal. Okay, I'm gonna move the board here to try and find the picture that Grub is talking about. Do you mean this one, Grubbug? This one in the middle of the circle here? Let me know if that's the circle you meant or not. One of the Grubbug wanted to see one of the sketches up close, so I just want to make sure I get the right one.
Company logo. Very simple.
Yeah,
There's
it's
also
a circle
the
bisected by vertical
Graphic
line.
design is their
The
passion.
Summit Banking Guild down bottom left.
Oh, maybe that's the one Grubbug meant. Let's come down bottom left and find. So this is the Summit Banking Guild, and again, Microsoft Whiteboard is struggling a little bit here, but this is 2 mountains, and then there's a smaller mountain in the middle with a top hat, and that's the Summit Banking Guild logo.
Sir
But
Topham
not all of the
Sav.
pieces of it are rendering for us on my screen.
Yeah, why is your screen doing the weirdest rendering?
Because
That's
I'm the
so
one
weird.
on stream. Microsoft was like, "Ooh, he's the one they're gonna look at.
He is the
Bork
one, the
that
only one.
And
Yes.
that's the way it went. So
Have we added
Not yet. I don't think we've
Vandal
added him.
to
I
the
just-
board yet?
Vandal
'Cause if not, I'll
Savage.
do it real quick. I'll go ahead and add him.
did you get enough of a visual there, Grubbug, or do you want me to? I'll just zoom back in for a little bit while we wait for confirmation. That one. Gotcha. Thanks, man. You're welcome.
You know there's a tool for arrow making. Whoever's
Oh, is there?
manually drawing the arrows. Yes.
Where is it?
It's the pen right next to the normal pen.
Also, if you double
pen
click
with
the
an
normal
arrow?
pen and you go down, you can do double arrow. Like when you can choose the color,
True.
you know.
Thanks
You
for
just draw the
watching another
line.
one of
It's under
Matt's
where you
YouTube
edit the pen's
tutorials. Like,
color
comment,
down at the
subscribe.
bottom. It's
I
like
do not
arrow,
see
no
that.
I don't
arrow,
see
and
you.
just toggle it on or off. Yep,
dude,
it does. I'm using it
I
on
don't
the app.
think the app has that
Reuse.
feature.
Oh, you're on the app.
Recycle.
Weird. Well, never mind.
Wait,
Haha.
what?
Got him, scrub.
I clearly don't know where I'm looking then.
all right, we'll figure this
So,
out. It's fine.
The
I'm just
only
gonna
avatar
flex
allowed to draw
that
in the
we've
I'm gonna
arrows.
draw a
not,
whole bunch of
the
arrows.
only avatar that we've not heard anything out of or
Trevor,
discovered
Just-
anything
yeah.
about
You're
is
not on
Kay,
stream. Go Google it.
which is
Okay.
Phase K,
Right.
my favorite streamer.
The only thing we've heard about from Kay is before the darkening, because Fox had those dreams, and in those dreams,
oh
his
wait,
parents
they were helped by Kay. How?
were
what were the
helped
details
by
of that?
Kay. They were trapped in a cage, being tortured for information or something. I think they were asking. I think the people torturing them were asking who they were working for. The people torturing them were also the rod over the anvil breaking, the rod breaking, not the anvil. But they prayed to Kay, and Kay was able to release them from the cage. I think he caused they were in a tree or something. I don't know. I forget where the cage was. But
They
it was
were
hanging.
suspended in the jungle of songs, and a gust of wind came through and knocked
So
their tree
I mean,
over.
maybe
so, their
Kelnor
cage
and
shattered
not
on the
Kay
ground.
though.
Right.
Was it?
Must have been must have been
Yeah.
the wind. Must have been my imagination.
That was Kelnor they prayed to, not Kay.
Oh, my
B.
beep.
His baby. His baby.
I mix avatars and gods. It's fine.
It's okay. It happens. I do it all the time.
I do be like that.
Where
though.
did-
Doobie dooba.
what the avatars doing?
They're making a live
Where
action
did
show and
where
a
did
whole
Do
movie
Bumblefoot
series,
say
but
to
it's
come
blue
find
people.
her at? Did she she said come find me? Did she say where?
And we saw. Wait. We identified
did.
where, because a cry sent us a message.
A
that
cry
information.
identified the 3 locations you told him about.
It was a cry for help, really.
The description of Zoth's vision should tell you what those 3 locations were, but he identified them as the 3 legendary dragon lairs. If Zothkug's note doesn't tell you that, that's a me not giving you all the clues thing because
That's
I made
okay.
this hastily, and I will give it to you because in the vision he saw locales. So
It just says trapped in an arcane sigil under session 5.
okay, great.
Sounds
Let
like a movie
me
trailer thing. Like
pull
trapped
that-
in an arcane sigil.
Let me pull this up so I make sure I get them right because it would suck
Yeah, don't do that.
during this thing where we're all diving into the lore for me to screw up lore. That would be embarrassing. So
Or do.
yeah.
You know, it's whatever. It's fine.
Let's see here.
What if the dragons are trying to hoard magic?
You said that was in session 5?
It looks like it. That's where I see the clue. Zoth Vision number 1. Session
I wasn't saying it's wrong. I was checking because I'm scrolling through all my session notes.
Oh,
To make sure I picked the right one. I wasn't like you're lying to me.
Why you
about where
always
the thing was."
lying?
All right. I was looking for a way to like put another image up for my camera because I really have to use the bathroom, but I can't find anything. So you're gonna see an empty chair.
Darn.
And you're gonna deal with it.
Chair stream.
Let's focus in just on his video. I think that'd be perfect. Or not. That's fine too.
That's okay. This gives you guys a chance to pursue any other angle of thought while I find this.
And
this
while okay, now that Matt's gone and Josh is occupied.
I think that Pop-Tarts are
What do we
delicious,
really
and I
think?
wish that I had one.
Oh, me too. I might make one after this.
I
And by
was
make one, I mean
thoroughly
put one in the
impressed
toaster. It's not
and
like
then
I
brought
home
back
make
down
my
to
own
neutral.
Pop-Tarts from scratch. That'd be cool though. Yeah, but at least I'm not a savage. I actually like toast my Pop-Tarts before I eat them. I guess I don't know. Maybe. But also they're fine cold. They're okay.
Maybe you are a savage.
I would prefer.
Your face is fine cold.
I would prefer toasted. Microwaved even.
That sounds atrocious.
I mean,
that sounds
have you done
soggy.
microwaved Pop-Tart? It's not the worst. It is not soggy either. It's just soft and warm, as opposed to. Do I eat the edges of the Pop-Tart first and save the inside for last? No, I do not. I just kind of eat it like I would a piece of toast. Like just kind of you take bites consistently from one side until it's all gobbled up.
Whoa, what?
Maybe I'm the savage.
What is up with this blue
that could be
lined
true.
shenanigans?
Maybe that was the.
Oh, so Jake did it.
It's
I was gonna say,
symbolic
I see wrinkles
of,
like a brain.
my brain, and yeah, it's the way it's my neural pathways visualized.
No worries.
I have tried googling it, but I still can't figure out where the
Hey,
arrow thing is.
I have a thought.
It's not a
The
big
arrow
deal.
thing.
Yeah,
This is something that we have not experienced in the game yet, but something that we
Thought
know about
thoughts
as
with
players,
Wash.
and that is in the center, like of Urda. Well, I guess that would be south. There is a huge vortex. That isn't that vortex still there, Josh? That like connects things to other planes.
Nobody's gone to visit it, but during the world building stream, we never said that it
So there,
failed.
it's possible that something could have happened with the vortex.
Let's check
You know
the
what
tapes. Maybe.
Maybe it's like a giant bathtub.
The giant
That
baby,
was
Who's
like the
bathing in the
magic train.
bathtub in the giant bathtub?
or the baby giant.
Is it? Which?
The gods.
Oh, sure.
You know what I'd like to bring attention to? Up at the surface level map of Uruda, there's a strange continent or landmass named Name
Name
Diaz.
Name Diaz. That's what it is. Yeah.
Name Diaz.
Yeah.
how many people know about that continent?
I just think its name needs its attention to
No.
be brought to.
No.
No? Okay.
There's a little,
No, I don't
there's a
think so.
little village of people there.
Just thought the
called
chat
Vindun.
might find that name interesting.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, based on your vision and the information from a cry, here is where the avatars are trapped. Garlel, the avatar of Gomteus, is trapped in... He is a dragon and is trapped in his own lair, which is built into the ruins of the fallen Eos Lore Foundation Tower.
Okay, yep.
Larodith, the avatar of Owara, is trapped in the lair of the Silver Star, or Andromeda, the legendary dragon who lives in the Umbral Sea.
What was the first one? The fallen ruins of what?
Let me know when you're ready for the next one. I just don't want to go too fast. The Eos Lore Foundation Tower. It was the floating tower next to the market. For those of you in chat, I'll zoom in on the map here to where it fell. Well, I'll try to. We'll see if it.
Oh, you're just
up.
typing it right on there.
Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Who's to say?
No worries.
Oh, sorry.
Could you go over Laredith again?
Larodith is in the Umbral Sea, the lair of Andromeda, also known as the Silver Star.
Okay.
I was just going to make the side comment that
And
we've
the last
been to the
one,
Umbral Sea
Do
before.
Bumblefoot. Oh, sorry. Did you have a
or
question
at
for me,
least
Wash?
Our Christmas one-shot, we've been to the Umbral Sea, and we know that there is a massive skull down there with some pirates inside of it. At least there was within the Second Age. Just chilling in there.
Just chilling in there? Pirate life for them?
I don't know. It could be related. Could be not related. Maybe I'm trying to make one shots into canon. I don't know. And the last one, Do Bumblefoot, is trapped in the lair in Uriah's lair. Uriah is also called Old Taxidermy because Uriah's lair is the perfectly preserved, hollowed-out mountain city of Nowood. Uriah, a sapphire dragon, enjoys like preserving history as it was, and so his lair is the city of Nowood, which was abandoned when the Hemetetians were commanded by their god Zanir to push deeper into the world and war with
Maybe
the
I'm
Drow.
reacting to this too late, but at one point Belly said, without magic, how are we getting up there? And I don't know exactly where there is, but...
I also tried to put that together, but couldn't figure out where Belly meant. But Belly, if you elaborate, we will
Lots of
answer your
sacred-
question.
The answer is probably nope. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we just can't.
Oh,
No, we.
are you talking about the floating? He might be talking about the
was
floating
just no
thing.
longer floating.
So when he said the ruins of it, it crashed to the
The
ground.
floating stuff fell when the darkening. How would you get to the island with the portal?
Oh, Namedis.
Oh, Namedis.
No,
I
you don't.
see.
One doesn't.
One does not
doesn't.
simply go to Namedis. Like literally, you
I
can't.
mean, I suppose you could sail there. Like, it's just ocean. It's
Ocean
icy
man.
ocean. There's probably something horrifying in it that the DM put
Come
there.
and take me
but
by
you
the
know,
hand and take
it's-
me to the land.
See that
I like.
that area is level locked. You know, we got to be level 10 to get into that
Wait.
area.
Are you telling
if
me
you try and go there,
Nami-
someone on the pier is gonna run in your way and go, "It's dangerous to go on voyages to the south," and then you'll get turned around and have to walk
Yeah.
back.
Are you telling me Namediz didn't make it to the Underdark? What is this?
Namediz is a glacier.
It's only the tip of the iceberg.
I demand
Namedis,
Underdark
more like
Glacier.
Namedis. Never mind.
Ah! Got him.
Jake, you want to finish that statement?
No, it's Namedis. Never mind. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Cover up his face, chat.
Good talk, guys.
I am
If you want to
also-
give his stop talking, you gotta donate more money.
Yeah. Gotta hide his face.
I also want to throw this out there just because it occurred to me and I thought it would be fun. If you would prefer, I will let you trade your single DM
Oh.
truthful answer to pick 2 sessions, which I will go back to and choose a clue or secret you did not discover from that session and give it to you.
Ooh.
Oh.
I will let you do either of those 2 things.
You
I
guys
think I-
thinking?
So those would be more clues. I still
think I
wouldn't be
would
answering
prefer
whether you're on the right
definitive.
track
Well, I mean,
or
it
not.
would be
I would just be
definitive.
giving you more clues. But I will let you one or the other.
That's tricky.
That is.
I
tricky.
think
There's
the
something to
I
decide
think
about
the
when you-
chat
when
the
you
chat
get to that
voted
point.
for the the DM yes or no question. You know what I mean?
That's
We
true.
want to give the
We
chat
should
what
we
they
should
want.
let chat decide.
Oh, we want to let chat decide? I can
Yeah.
run
Sure.
another poll.
Chat, you have the power.
I've got the power.
Tune in now and don't switch that channel, because you're the ones deciding our fates. Vote now on your phone.
Wow.
Okay.
Should we
Okay,
hear the
hold on
truth
a
from the
second.
DM,
Hold on a
or
second. This is maybe
do
you
we,
guys already
do
mentioned this,
whatever
and I'm
else
just a
he
dumb
said?
old man. But if I can take 3 steps backwards,
Two things can be true at
meta-wise,
once. No, sorry.
Sir Topham Sav is the CEO of the Summit Banking Guild. Sir
Yeah.
Topham Sav
Okay.
is also the one in Twitch chat who emped Magic.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh. Yeah.
Bruh.
That makes sense.
I just thought it was like a little like an homage, but you know what? No, there could be a deeper meaning.
If that's the only thing
That's
that we
the
got
whole
out of
point of
tonight's
this
session, I'm okay
conspiracy
with it.
There could be a deeper
I-
meaning.
Yeah, no, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Wait. No, I'm making the connections right now. All right, just bear with me. All right, we're gonna put this down here, right?
This web
And-
grows.
And
Let me
and
let me
wait,
know
I
when you
gotta
want
do
me
the
to get rid
double
of
arrow.
my
Matt, where are
brain
you
arrows.
working?
Let me know when you want me to get rid of those. Because they don't need to be there.
We need more folds. We need more
brain
folds.
I can add them.
Matt,
bottom
Sir
left.
We need
Topham
more
Sav
brain
is already
folds.
on the
Where is
right
he?
under Wingle digits to the left of the
Lower
Brightwood
left.
Company.
All right, chat, let's go see what's being drawn.
wait under wiggle digits up. Or sorry, Josh, could you show Matt on stream?
Oh, I see.
Oh, okay.
Yep, I'm doing it.
There's a different one. Oh, well, the first one that was put down is up.
No,
Everyone
I
keeps
see
talking
it,
about
I see it.
wingle
Oh, I see.
digit this and wingle digit that. Maybe you just need to
Yep,
wiggle your
fingers.
digits, okay?
Spirit fingers.
Wiggle my
Yeah.
digit.
Jazz hands.
Wiggle your digits.
Never say that again.
All right, Matt, what are you doing? Talk us through.
I drew the arrow. Okay, so if Wash, I think Wash is on to something here. Okay, especially given
it was the
that,
primest of
the
cheeses.
DM
It
currently
was
has
great.
his face cam on, and he gave the greatest reaction. So
No.
Or
yeah,
or am I so
No.
meta that I am reacting in a way
Wha-
that will
wha-
throw you
wha-
off the scent?
he wouldn't do it knowingly, but I could see him being like, "That's really clever. I didn't think of that kind of face."
DM starts jotting everything down.
Yeah, right. Oh, write that down. But you know what? I think it's still worth looking into. So if Sir Topham Sav, CEO of the Summit Banking Guild, what do we know about the Summit Banking Guild? From the top of my head, all I can remember is that they worked with the Bright World Company
And they're the
in
first
making.
first
They're
adopters
the
of
first-
wiggle digit.
Wingle dodgets.
Yes. They were as a partnership, they were the ones who switched to Wingle digits to force everyone else to switch. Which, by the way, is a good business practice.
Yeah.
You find a distributor. If you invent something, find a distributor that is well known and have them distribute
So
for you.
don't-
And better yet, if you get a monopoly and you're the only one who's distributing that good, that's
Then
real
you can
life
pass
advice.
go in
all
for
right?
like $200. So
So going back to our previous theories, maybe it wasn't the Bright World Company who orchestrated magic emping, but it was the Sir Topham Sav guy. He was like, "Hey, Bright World Company has this great idea with these coins." Fails. Sir Topham Sav is like, "I invested in these. Man, they're not taking off." And so then
Guys,
he's like, "Well,
Of
the only way to
course-
sell them is to get rid of
Of
magic."
course, Sacrium is.
what?
We invented Sacrium before magic was emped. We invented Wingle digits before magic was emped. So it would have had to have existed before then.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
And then
And magic was empty because they didn't take off, like I
yeah,
said from the
think
beginning.
Trevor was more right than maybe we wish he was.
Wait, yes. Wait. I think you're right.
More right
and I
than
want to
we wish it
expand.
was.
I want to expand on that and say, I remember that session because we
serious.
brought it up and we did a whole joke about it. I wasn't sure if it was on stream or off stream.
He's like, that wasn't a joke to me.
But we... Well, no, because we brought up Wingle digits, and we're talking about, like, oh, we should push them, and then there was some pushback, and like, all right, come on, could it really happen? But if Sir Topham Sav...
completely different person.
Not to be confused with subscriber and frequent chat member Sir T-Sav.
Yeah, completely unrelated. Now, if he basically was in our shoes, right? He was the one who, in universe, created Wingle digits, and in universe, had issues distributing them. And remember that wish idea we came up with?
Yeah.
What if he wished for Wingle digits to take off, and this is a monkey paw situation
to get successful?
Do you mean a monkey wrench?
No, monkey paw. So, monkey paw is like, there's like a hand, had fingers up. If you made a wish, the finger would go down, but the whole stereotype was every wish you made, there would be a horrible consequence.
It's the Wonder Woman 1984 rule.
I don't know that.
It's a bad movie. Don't watch it. Anyway, go ahead.
So what?
You just reference a terrible movie?
Because I've seen the movie, I might as well reference
Matt,
it.
you're saying that it's like...
Well, what if it's like... It could have just said like a genie situation.
Yeah, but for the people who have seen that movie and don't like it as well, they're gonna chuckle and be along with the
So you're just
We're
saying
talking about monkey paw.
It's a possible wish scenario with
paw.
unintended consequences.
Sorry, Wash.
But I mean, I don't know.
If you can bend the reality, right, with Wish, it could be bent so that way a company magically finds Sacrium and magically gets a hand in it and reaches out to none other than Sir Topham Sav. That would establish the Wish, right? And perhaps it established all of that. I mean, Wish is Wish is a little broken, right? I could just be like, point everything to Wish, and it would work.
Do we have any
technically, logically? But
preface for
it is an idea
happening? We do. In Namedis, there is a magical pool, or there was a thing there that granted wishes.
Oh.
But you had to. But there was a stipulation for it. You had to use it in a selfless way.
Really?
That's right.
Okay.
Ooh.
Remember?
This was a stipulation of the wishing well at Namedis. It would only work once for any creature, and it had to be a wish with purely selfless intention.
What if Sir Topham Sav wished for like something that is selfless?
Hit us with it, Trevor.
I got this. I got a wish that could do that. So Sir Topham Sav could have wished for people born without magic or the capability of learning
Say that
magic
again now?
to have magic.
Oh.
What if he wished for like your everyday man who did not possess innate magic, so that it wasn't just in them, like in their bloodline, and they just didn't have the funds or resources to go and study and learn magic.
Like equality. What if Sir Topham Sav wished for magical equality?
Magic and paved the way for industrialized magic.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would need to be tied somehow into the avatars. I mean, we've been kind of operating under the assumption that magic is being siphoned from them.
True.
And we actually do know that the avatar's magic can be pulled from them with what was her name? No, it was Setonia. She extracted magic from herself and gave it to somebody else. So we know that that's possible.
Yeah, Setonia.
Yeah. Well,
don't you mean a monkey wrench?
What if that's like a monkey paw thing, where it's like when you made that wish, the avatars are instantly gone, Like it's like the monkey paw thing, going off of what Matt said, where he just made this wish not thinking about like what could possibly do this, and then
What could possibly go wrong?
Sure. And I think Wash is saying he's just trying to bring the avatars into that,
Yeah.
right? As a consequence. And Wash, I think you're onto something. What if in Urada, right, the majority of magic flows through Avatar's connection to godhood, right? And to that other plane of existence, right? Where maybe that's where magic comes from. And now that they're trapped and maybe siphoned, right? Everybody's cut off from their magic, including divine magic. But perhaps there's some wild magic in that too. I don't know. Now, yeah, I'm just spitballing here. All right, and I'm no D&D lore
He's
enthusiast.
spitballing and
right?
spitting bars. So I think
I agree.
We're in support of that.
all right. Well, we should put this on the board.
Also, chat has spoken. Your DM truth is replaced by 2 missing secrets. You may either choose 2 sessions, and I will pick 1 secret from each session, or you may pick 1 session, and I will pick 2 secrets.
Yeah.
I will also tell
And
you
just
if
for-
you choose
just
a
for
session where all the
context,
secrets have been you've gotten them already.
You
I won't,
write
I
down
won't
secrets
gotcha.
of
Okay.
things to be learned per session and try to reveal them. We either discover them, something like that. So these would be secrets that we did not discover during each session. Yeah.
Exactly. So you have the chance in every session to discover things off of a list of secrets and clues that I have prepared based on where those secrets
So
and
we
clues
can be
might be,
targeted
or who
with
might tell them to
the
you, and
session
depending
if
on
we're
how
looking
your
for
session
specific
goes, I either give them
information.
to you or don't. Also,
Right.
Belly points out that the anomalies are your points
So
of
I was
truth.
wondering about that.
What do they
That's
have in
one of
common,
the
if
that's one of the
anything?
weird
The
things.
magical
I thought about
plant
bringing it
and
up
Jeb's gun.
earlier, but it didn't happen. Is that Jeb's gun works, and we don't really know how. Like he makes and maybe you can give some technical clarification on this, Josh, if you want. But he essentially uses spell components and makes these little cartridges, loads them into it, and then it kind of acts like a focus to cast the spell. He doesn't really channel magic through himself, to my understanding.
Well, I do want to say I find the idea that Jeb is the only one using components very unlikely. So I still think there's something unique about the process.
This is the sort of meta, since we talked about it before, like after magic was emped, but before we started, and that it was like Jeb's stuff or the uncle's gun was like so far underground in like a lockbox or whatever that it just magic the M couldn't reach it or penetrate.
Right. I think we even brought that up on the session which we emped magic already, is the idea of shielding something from the emp, right? Because we described it as an EMP kind of scenario, so immediately our brains attached it to an EMP scenario where you can shield
Josh,
electronics.
Did we actually get his stuff
pulse
from like a lockbox? Because I thought it was on Cole's person. Like we because what you guys are talking about, we had theorized ways of making
person.
we were like, oh well, John picked a wizard,
exposed.
Rip him, making a wizard in a world where magic doesn't exist. How could we get around this? Just to start the adventure, and we had theorized a bit about that.
I've said this a couple times before in offline conversations with the players, but every instance of magic functioning in this world has a reason that slots into the plot. So I guarantee you there is no plot armor creating Jeb's gun that works. There is a reason that Jeb has been able to use his gun thus far. I don't think that since Jeb stumbled upon this and is learning magic from his grandfather's journal, I don't think
it's
Jeb
more
knows
practical.
enough
It's
about
more like
the magical concepts involved for me to explain
it's
how
more
the
like
gun
a you
works.
do this
I will
thing,
say-
you do
I think that would be a
ABC,
seek
and
out
then
an
D will
expert
happen
and ask
type
them
thing.
type thing
Yeah.
in the campaign.
I
I also want to clarify that we said during world building, T-Sav, when he redeemed that catastrophe, said, I emp magic. And then he very specifically said, Josh, you can decide how it slots into the actual campaign, but those are the effects.
Yeah.
So it wasn't necessarily an EMP wave. Like I was given kind of carte blanche to achieve an EMP of magic.
Yeah.
I would like to bring something up real quick.
Yeah,
just to answer
Belly
Billy's,
raises a good point.
Question. Every time, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe every time that Jeb has used spells, it has always involved the gun in some way and not the cartridges by themselves.
Correct.
The cartridges and the
correct.
gun have always been combined and used to fire the spell.
So here's a theory. Going off of the EMP analogy, what if it's just like the gun was made like it's an older technology, and so this EMP was like more designed to deal with more sophisticated, evolved magic, and so the gun was just outdated for the EMP to work on it.
That's an interesting concept. That's like I feel like that's a thing that's brought up in a lot of stories and following this kind of idea, right? Where you find out there's actually different kinds of magic, right?
Yeah.
I think Full Metal Alchemist, anime, referenced something similar. By the way, if you don't watch anime, it's good anime. It's a good intro to anime. Anyway, sorry.
But like,
also,
just uses
they brought up
different
that
style
concept.
of magic that isn't affected by
And Belly just raised a point that I was about to say, which is that maybe it's a more powerful magical artifact than what was used to create the EMP. Because I think that maybe follows, like, we talked about the chorus. What's
That would
it called?
explain the
What was
avatars.
the thing that creates the plants?
Crescendo 64.
It's
Crescendo.
I have like red versus blue on the brain. No, Crescendo. Like I think that would explain why Crescendo would still work too. Like, because Crescendo is like the most legendary magical item in this world.
I gotta use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
We don't know Crescendo still works. We just know that
we know that its
Crescendo
effects
was
still
probably
work.
near.
No. I think Jake is onto something here.
Like
okay?
the plant could just be like a battery where it's storing the magic.
The fact that
I
something that
just
was
wanna
created
say-
by Crescendo still is magical, I think that says something about Crescendo's power compared to what the EMP was.
Yeah.
So I forget if we actually established it right, but we theorized at some point, or it was brought up, that perhaps the moss that Zoth has was because of Crescendo.
We never
in some
confirmed
way.
that. We just theorized it.
Now, that's just a weak connection,
like
but also avatars
the
have
connection-
magic,
This is true. Avatars do still have magic.
which is, and they're powerful magical beings.
They're also trapped.
right? They're also trapped
By
conveniently.
magic, we would assume.
By something, right? Yeah, it's definitely not normal means. It's not like they have a steel trap around their leg.
Actual cannibal Shia
It's definitely
LaBeouf.
arcane. But no, I definitely think that you're onto something, Jake. That perhaps if you pass a certain threshold in magic,
Belly
Circling
and
back-
I are onto something. We both thought of
circling
it
back
around the same
to
time. You just
Cole's
sent it in chat
gun.
before I
Yeah.
said it.
Sorry, yes.
He never,
Belly is the original.
current working theory is he never used it during the Darkening because he died right when or before it happened, or like right as it happened. And he was just like a security guy. Like, to my knowledge, he wasn't a part of any like secret society or any crazy something or other. And that's just speaking towards like his gun being super amazing or special
What
to
if
that
he
effect. I don't know if it is.
What if he foresaw the darkening
could
coming
be
and he manufactured the gun in preparation for it?
I think more realistically, it could be the classic tale of somebody stumbles upon an artifact, doesn't understand its true power, and just uses it as a mundane tool.
I think that's a possibility. Or I could also see this kind of neat little story of like character is in the grand scheme of the world a quote unquote nobody, but has this skill and this luck to create this amazing artifact that is more powerful than all these other things. And like, I don't know. I think that's kind of neat. A neat idea.
I as much as I love that, I feel
That's
like
true.
this is not a young adult.
That's really true.
Hey, here's the thing. Josh is familiar with young adult novels. He's even written one. So
This is
I mean-
absolutely a young adult novel.
I like to think that my ability to write has grown since I was 14.
We can never be too sure. I think that theory is still in possibility. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. Ask Matt how deep my last D&D plot was.
D&D.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, a young adult novel can still have a deep plot.
I
It's
agree.
just he's gotten better at writing young adult novels.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm ribbing at young adult novels and having.
My
very
current theory is that the gun is
plot
not
lines.
special. That it is a focus.
Yeah,
that it channels something through it. Just
I will
as
say
like a wizard with a wand, tugs on the weave.
that is a.
Well,
But why
We
are
haven't
other
run into
focuses
any other
not working and
focuses.
that one working? That's it has to be special.
I'm just saying, like, in game
Yeah,
we
but
haven't run into it.
You would think, right? Like, I don't know.
I mean, my focus.
You would think you would hear
my
about it.
focus doesn't
You would
work.
think you would hear about it.
Yeah,
That's actually
focus
actually-
doesn't-
well, your
His focus
focus
doesn't
is also divine. Mine is arcane.
Yeah, that's true.
I will say it wouldn't be called the darkening, if only some magic
exactly.
was gone, and then like it would be called the dimming.
So-
The dimming.
We've said a
Well,
bunch.
there's
We've said a
two
bunch of
parts to
times that
Jeb's
all
magic.
magic is gone
There's
from
the gun,
from
which
the
is the
world of
focus,
Urda.
and the spell components. So it's either the gun itself and the spell components are mundane, or the spell components have something to do with it, and the gun is just a focus.
I think they're.
Or it could be like chemistry. It could be just they happen to react together, and without each other, right? They're nothing.
I personally
Um,
believe the gun is special in some way. That's my. I
Yeah, I
believe
do
that,
too.
So, but before we get too far into this whole like
You could
gun
also dive
rabbit
into the
hole,
barrel of the gun. We could go down.
that
Use a
we've
gun to
already
shoot
done.
rabbits out of a rabbit hole.
Oh, guys, I cracked
It's-
it. Ruby,
Just like
the
Bag of
plot is
Wompat
also a
stuck
gun.
it.
Yeah.
Well,
Isn't
getting
I mean, your
Oh.
rope trick is.
You
is,
got
is the
me.
barrel
Oh,
of
don't do
your
that,
gun.
Belly. Come on.
Ooh, Belly says I now have a theory, but I am keeping it to
Ooh.
myself.
No,
Please.
Belly,
Please.
share.
let me. No,
You're
wait.
falling into
wait,
his
wait,
trap.
wait.
He wanted
Sorry,
us to beg.
distractions. I want to finish my thought.
No, no, go ahead, man.
All right, it's getting late, so I think right now we should
A
turn
fantastic
our
story
attention
and
to
a fun
focusing on what we're gonna get out
Okay.
of the DM.
Yeah,
I think we should turn.
I'm thinking
Nice.
when we
We'd have to
split
pick
the
one.
party. I think those were
Or-
very insightful sessions.
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
We could pick both.
No,
One
you
of
could
each.
pick two and get one clue from each one, or you could pick one and get two.
I definitely
clues from
think
it.
anything involving Dig Site 6 has the potential to
We
uncover
could also
stuff, including the
do-
office.
We could also do the one
raid.
where Wash went digging,
I don't remember
and, like,
what
looked-
session was that.
searching for a bunch of stuff. That was the one where it almost came down. Then we got our accommodation.
Oh, wait.
the
Guys,
the explosion.
I know which one we should do at least one for. The one where we literally skipped an entire adventure's worth of stuff. Session 7.
Oh yeah.
Like- like
we
a
just
week-
jumped off a cliff
a
and
week
skipped
worth
any
of
lore
dungeon.
drops that could have happened while going down. Yeah. Yeah. I think we definitely do at least one from
And-
that.
what-
All,
I agree with Jake because
all
knowing
of the
Josh,
clues,
every
all of the
session's
clues in
gonna
that one are
have
just
a
going to
be
a
like,
little
the
nugget of
Bright
something.
World
If
Company
we
has a
just
mind.
skipped,
It's deep
a
down and
week's
very
worth.
far away. You know, they have an elevation exchange machine down there that you know, this like all of the stuff that we've already jumped to because we're like 4 sessions ahead.
to be fair, that is very possible as well.
I mean, that could be
I'm
true.
I'm for maybe we do just two from that one since we missed so much.
I think personally dividing up between a couple different episodes
Focus
is
and
probably
win.
smart. Yeah.
Divide and conquer.
Okay,
So
so
I
one.
It's really fun to listen to you guys try and decide which
I
section. to
recommend
go
session
from.
7. That's my recommendation.
I second.
I think just purely because it needs to be done, because we have no idea, right? I do think 9 out of 10 we're gonna get something we already know, but I still think it's worth just doing it because it's unknown.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
completely skipped it. But if that's the case, then we're really strict on what we choose next. If we're already giving up, one session as we're choosing that.
Pertinent lore.
I definitely think somewhere in Dig Site 6 is where we're going to get the most lore, right? Because that's the most lore it's the most lore intense or concentrated area. So much is happening that's pivotal to the plot that we could have run into.
Yeah.
I love how the Session 8 title got
that's
covered
fair.
up, and so it just says the one where the guys
knowing
get
that,
real
we got to find something
instead of real jobs.
The one where they get real.
It looks like the
I
note is
see
on
the
top of
full
the
thing.
other word for me.
But maybe we see different instances of it. That's interesting. Ah, gotcha. Well, I am in support of maybe Session 7 and Session 8, because those are the ones, like, Session 7 is the one where we skip stuff, and then Session 8 is the one where we first explored the mine.
Let's not forget, 9 and 10, if I'm correct, were the ones we were separated.
Solo. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think a lot of things could have happened there that we might have missed.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely think there's stuff that I missed when we ransacked just me and Vandal.
Yeah, that's
and
kind of what
Jeb.
I was thinking.
When we took the
there was a
dwarf
lot
hinges,
of
I'm pretty
Brightwood
sure we probably
Company
missed a
lore.
lot in that office.
We could have
Okay.
missed
cool.
stuff in the Darklings den.
We haven't
I don't feel
We
too
haven't
strongly
talked
that we
about
missed
the
very many
Darklings
things with the Darklings
at all.
That's my personal opinion, though. They are probably connected
we don't
in
have
some
a lot
way,
of-
but
a
as
lot
of
of
right
points
now,
to connect them
I
to.
don't see any big connections. You know what I mean?
Well, we got some deep stuff about. We know
What
like
is their
their
origin
origin story. Basically.
Yeah. And I think
So they were they originated from the Fae, and they were cursed by one of the queens. And so anytime they're in light, they disintegrate.
they're generally bad dudes.
They're Twilight
they're
vampires.
generally bad dudes who like to collect
They're hoarders.
hoarding things. Yeah.
I forget why they were cursed though.
no,
Josh.
that's fair. My vote is
I
for
know, but
session
it's a
something in
diversion, and
session
we're
8,
getting late, so
or
I'm not
like
gonna
if we
talk about
split
it.
up the 9. I'm gonna say my vote's at least for 9.
Yeah, I think 9 is fine.
I vote.
So session 7 and 9.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, session 7 and 9.
That's
Josh.
for my vote.
All right. What I'm going to do is for the amount of ungiven clues, I'm going to take that number and roll the closest dice and then loop past 1 if if it's a D6 cuz I have 7 clues, then 1 will or I guess on 8.
If you just want to,
if
you just want to
I
peruse
trust
the list
you
Yeah,
of
that
clues
didn't
and
make
say,
any
"Ooh, this is a
sense
spicy
random,
one
but
that'll
go
help,
for
man."
it.
Just do that. Don't roll them dice.
You've heard of
Yeah,
Blue's
choose-
Clues.
maybe choose the best clue.
Hear about Peruse Clues.
All right.
The
We
office
are
was
in-
locked with a specific key.
Session 7.
Got
Correct.
Josh got real close to the microphone, so it's about to get serious.
Yeah, man.
Oh no.
I think I really need to roll for session 7.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna roll a d6. If I get a 6, it'll be the same as 1. Almost fell off the table. We're gonna roll it again. We got a 3.
Give it to us.
Uh-oh.
Come on.
Wow.
I'm ready.
The Holy Trinity.
Josh.
All right. There are significant disturbances vertically in the wall of the how it's like a sheer cliff behind you. That wall has significant disturbances in it. Upon closer inspection, you can identify that something has earth glided
Zorn
through this wall
traveling-
vertically.
Possibly the Zorn traveling
glide-
through
like-
the,
like
'cause
earthbending?
It eats ore, and it just kind of like glides through the dirt and like eats the ore, and it'll just like pop up out and stuff.
Right. That makes sense because the Zorn wouldn't just literally dig through. It's a fucking it's a hulking mass.
Ellie, share it with us.
So that means that either the Zorn came down,
Which-
Belly says now my theory
well,
is
it
stronger.
wouldn't have gone up.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I mean, there
Wait,
could
wait,
be
wait.
more than one.
Josh, since you've given us this clue, as if though we, the characters, have been there and discovered it. Was there bending, like, I'm guessing it's like a warping of the Earth, right?
It's the kind of disturbance that I would have specifically had Jeb notice. Like, Earth glide is very subtle.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was like ripples in the water where you could tell what direction it was moving.
The way that I picture Earthglide, so Earthglide is like one step before Meld with Stone. The way that I picture it is like when you see rocks that are weathered by a river, so they're like smooth on one side and not on the other. It would be like there would be little bits of the rock that are smoother than
Like
they
his
should
bald
be,
head.
or of the dirt wall. Yeah, like like something glided through, and so where that made contact with the wall, it kind of like pushes it down and compacts it, not deep enough to make like a furrow, like a cart track, but enough that it looks different than the texture of naturally occurring dirt.
Okay.
So it would be something that like a digger would notice, but not everyone would.
You're not going to get direction out of it. That's what I was trying to figure out.
Okay.
No, you would only know up down. But since you found the dead Zorn, like that should help as another. Those two probably work together.
Yeah. So we can assume they're going down.
Well,
I just
and
wanted to make
Jeb
sure that wasn't
is,
like a red
familiar
herring.
with
But
the Zorns. He's seen them before,
given
but
that,
he's never been
so
in the
they
Underdark.
definitely came down.
So that means it's possible that this thing was from like the crust of the planet and has gone down the wall into the Underdark for some reason.
Maybe.
Maybe it's addicted to sacred.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I was about to say something like that.
Well,
Like
you don't need to
it's
go, you don't need to go
pursuing
deep to
a
get to
Sacrian vein,
Sacrian
sort of.
though,
I don't know.
because
Okay.
Yeah.
they
Let's
were panhandling it. Like that guy was sifting
Maybe it just
through
keeps
it up
gobbling
in
it
the
up
way
and getting
station. That
deeper.
was just under the surface.
But maybe it's more bountiful the deeper you go. So like up top, it's like you find it
Well,
every
and at-
now and
at
again.
Dig
and
Site
the lower
6,
you
they're
go,
mining
the
up.
more
And it's like
concentrated.
really high
More-
up too, from what I
more
gathered.
pure.
Like
This
wasn't
is
there a
true.
clue that they were going to break the surface soon?
Yeah.
My thought is maybe
It could be.
Yes. My thought is maybe it's found a certain vein of Sacrium and it's just following it, and that vein happens to be leading down.
Somebody want to put
You know what I mean?
Zorn on the map?
Yeah.
I don't
All
know.
right. Let's hear that second clue.
Do we already have one
I
for the
got you.
Zorn?
Where should we put it?
Near
that sounds good.
near Dig Site 6.
Near Dig Site 6 and Sacrium. We have Zorn mentioned somewhere.
Because you found the Zorn
Yeah.
with its gills.
Yeah.
It's over near.
It's on the far left.
Session 7.
No, you've moved it
No,
onto
left,
your
left.
your conspiracy board already.
Right. I'm gonna copy
like
it. I'm
like
not gonna do it, I'm
communism
just gonna
that
copy
far
it.
left.
Oh yeah, we have it. It's off of branched with Sacrium is natural ?
The note didn't come with it.
Lol.
Okay. Session 9 is the other one, right?
It's going to be
Yes.
like the key lime
Yes.
pie is exquisite.
What are you doing? What are you?
No. All right.
vote
Pick a
1.
number, you guys. 1 or 2.
I vote 2.
Sure. Oh no.
Matt, up to you.
Matt?
All right. So.
All right, I'm going to flip a coin.
No, Josh, please. Now, you, knowing that I would have switched with this cup, would have poisoned yours. But
One of the world's classic blunders.
you knew that I would thought of that, so you switched them back and poisoned mine. But of course,
Instead of
Never give the DM
and
too
never
much
finding
power.
a
The
land
classic
war in
one.
Asia.
wait. So 1 or 2, right?
Yes.
Yep, 1 or 2.
Okay. Blah 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 blah. There's 4 of us. That's divisible by 2. Circle, infinite points. That doesn't matter. Dig Site 6, divisible by 2. I'm gonna go with 2. I'm sorry.
Jake,
the
when you
most
put
things I
this
can come
on
up with are
TikTok,
2.
Put the equations floating
Yeah.
out of his face.
I love how I'm just like, yeah,
All
2.
right.
Jake's like, yeah.
Number 2.
And then Matt's like, yeah, no, I gotta think this through.
Upstairs in the Bright World trailer, when you go into the filing room, if you are willing to sacrifice a full hour to look through the files, you are able to identify that there are some violators marked as trespassing and that have been taken to the brig of Dig Site 6. Several of them are noted to be merfolk caught swimming into the compound through the river.
Oh.
So wait. I just want to confirm something. Everything we talk about here, including this, our characters will know next
Yeah,
session.
he is.
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
Fox
way
is going to
that-
have a fit.
The way that they will know... The way that they will know this piece
there you go.
is that they will have found it in the pile of papers that you all grabbed
Sure.
really quickly from in the Bright World trailer. You just have had time to go through them and sift through, and so you found that clue.
Fox is going to have a effing fit.
Yeah.
Backstory,
Crazy.
more like backtracking.
Backstory,
Always
Chad.
wearing
You-
an
you won't-
effing
you'll
fit.
find
He's
out.
always looking great.
Yeah.
Billy, does this do anything for your theory?
Tune in for the next episode of Winged Badger Tavern, the one where the guys fight for an entire D&D session. Just kidding. Just kidding. Billy Zavalis, you still how does that fit into your theory, if it does?
Just a theory.
Thanks,
a
Matt Pat.
Game theory.
A game theory.
Oh, that
Wow, that just happened.
we're gonna be taken down.
We at
with
Wing
that.
Badger Gaming are
Yes.
not endorsed by
Call us.
the Game
Call
Theory
us,
channel or Matt Pat in any way. We are not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No
we didn't want to know if
effect on
your theory
Belly's theory.
changed.
Belly,
we wanna
you
know if
still
your
need to
theory
share it with
is.
us.
It does. Chat does not need
wait,
to
wait,
share
wait,
with
wait.
you.
Chat
Wait,
owes
wait.
us nothing.
All right, quick
Chat
1
gave you
minute.
those secrets.
Actually, you know what? I'll even time myself. Quick 1 minute thought. Okay, give me a second. I'm pulling up 1 minute timer on Google.
Okay.
All right.
This is serious.
In the meantime,
Okay.
Billy
I don't think
Savalas
Billy
thinks that the
Savalas is aware
merfolk in the
of-
brig
of-
is a red herring.
Ah.
Fox's connection to merfolk, though.
Okay. It's all right. So I'm gonna hit enter here, and I'm gonna go through a 1 minute quick thought.
Go for it.
Okay. All right. So listen up. Okay. Belly obviously thinks that this has nothing to do with his theory, but it did have something to do with the Zorn traveling and the Earth shaping. Okay. So obviously there's a connection. There has to be a connection with his theory that we're so desperate to find out and the Zorn. Okay. So if that's true, we can narrow it down to Sacrium. All right, his theory must be about Sacrium. And if it's about Sacrium and Zorn, maybe it's about where the Sacrium is and where it comes from. So I do believe we can deduce that Belly's theory must be specifically about the origin of Sacrium. And I finished a little earlier because I don't know what else to add to that.
Go? Where does it come
But
from?
I can at least
Cotton Eye
I
Joe?
think
deduce-
that Sacrium
I
and
think
Zorn
that's
is
what
That-
we
that's
should
what his
be
theory
really
is about.
books from the Jebediah Peppermint.
Already.
Belly, if you want to specifically
Don't do
tell
me
me
like that.
your theory sometime, we can infuriate them further by me telling them whether you're on the right track or not.
Oh, no.
That'd be funny.
All right, Josh, you're doing the outro now.
No, Belly, come on.
So, okay.
Belly says, I'll definitely do that.
That's great.
Oh! Torturing us. Tantalizing. Okay, so I will say Fox
Yeah,
does
they're
have
little-
a
they're
connection
little
to
horse
merfolk.
people.
Marefolk.
Which does mean merfolk?
Mer. It's fine. It doesn't
Little horse
matter.
people, yes. To mermaids and mermen. So it could be even more of a red herring, right? Because you see those classically in every detective / mystery show where the connection's obvious, guys. There's a connection here. I don't see the direct connection, but he obviously must have had the gun because he has gun experience. And then it's completely unrelated. Red herring. So it could be a red herring still. I will say that. But I don't know, man. Josh likes to bring a lot of clever
Belly.
connections together. And he likes doing this really convoluted, plot where everything has a purpose. And you know, in an author's book, right? You don't describe something unless it has purpose. So I'm just
It's
just
the
saying.
its purpose could be to throw you off the track.
I wasn't going to describe
That's
that,
right.
but you know what? That's true.
Hey, it's It's been a success, guys.
No,
Every single
you
time we've
guys do
done
that
it,
to
it's worked.
yourself.
That's true. That is
We
true.
overthink.
All right.
We're 1 for 1.
Yeah, 1 of 1.
You know,
Here's-
I will say at this point, Fox will follow Jeb on any plan. He will doubt it. He'll question it. But he knows it always works
Alan
at this
is in
point.
the same boat. Earlier last session, there was this moment where Alan was just kind of like, you know what? I trust that whatever Jeb has planned right now is probably going to work out, so I'm going to roll with it. Like,
We didn't really have enough time to fight and discuss it, so Zoth was just like, yeah, sure, well, let's do it. Like, there was just no time to do anything.
If it's in the moment, I trust his gut, even if my body tells me no, my mind tells me no.
the flesh is weak, but the spirit is willing. That's what I'm hearing.
All right. Here's what I think we should do next. You guys can veto this if there is more to discuss with your current clues and things. I think that in order to land the session before we're done for the night, what I want from you guys is a concise, like, here is our working theory as it relates to the 3 questions. Where did the magic go? Why did the magic go? Can we bring it back? And if there's still more to discuss, we can keep discussing. But if you guys feel like you're at a point where you've kind of talked out all the clues, you don't have to agree. Like, each of you could have a different answer to those 3 questions. But I would like to know the current working theories to where did the magic go? Why did the magic go? Can we bring it back?
Yeah.
Jeb, Owlin, Zoth, huddle. Okay, all right. Let's go over what we've just talked about. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything you think we
mean,
still haven't touched? Is there anything we've missed?
I believe... Go ahead.
You haven't talked about that much.
That's because, I think is largely unrelated. I know that hurts for you, Zothkug. Is amazing, and we love him, but
He
I
is
don't...
an important member of this team.
I agree. I don't think he's related to where magic went. That's great.
I can't believe I missed that.
I know you're
Zorn
really
stuff,
short, and we
but,
talk over you all the time.
it
What
is
were you
what
about
it
to
is.
say?
All right, theory time, guys. So we're heading to dig site 7 right now.
It's crazy stuff.
Josh, you should zoom
we're
in
heading
on
to the
on the
middle.
3 major questions on the screen.
Oh, right. No, I was thinking money.
I thought we were
right,
heading to
sorry.
the dark side.
I thought it was already. I'm sorry. Yeah,
We
it's
told
fine.
you
So,
we'll help you with
okay,
your debt
so
problems once we
we are
finish.
currently heading to dig site 7, and what? Oh, you got
side.
me. You're a smart one, Zoth. We're currently heading to the dark site, and so, but with Fox. Hey man,
For some reason, your guys' shoulders
my
aren't feeling
entire
very
arms are
supportive.
as
My
long as
arms
your
are starting to
foot.
get
Give me a
tired
break.
for some reason.
I'm not sure if this changes anything with Fox's recent discovery of merfolk. I don't know what the deal is with you and merfolk, but I mean, to each their own.
I'm just saying the fact we're going to the dark site and there's a lake there, the river
Okay,
comes from there.
okay.
I'm just
Where
saying
did
we'll
magic
discover
go?
why there's merfolk involved, and I think we
that
should look into that.
I am currently in the camp that it is gone, like that it has been destroyed. Well, I mean, I'm talking about average
went into the
everyday
Wingle
magic
digits, man.
and the natural source that it came from, and whether Wingle digits is. You can do your theory in just a second. This is what I
it's
say.
being
I'm in the camp
channeled
that
into the
magic
Wingle
is
digits,
destroyed.
man.
And I think that it was that the Bright World Company or Sir Topham Sav was, with the Summit Banking Guild, was instrumental in this. I don't think we can bring it back. I think that if we are going to be able to bring magic back to the world, we're going to have to overthrow and somehow democratize the what the Bright World Company is doing. Like, if there is a way to sustainably mine and grow and farm magic, I think that's the way that we bring magic to the world going forward. What about you, Fox? Or
Viva la Revolution! Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Zoff.
Zoff seemed like he really wanted to...
Okay. So, why did the magic go? I think Sir Topham Sav was trying to even the magic scales in the world, not realizing the ramifications of what he was actually doing. And so, when he made said wish at Namedis, he didn't realize what giving everyone magic would mean. And so, through this wish spell, the avatars were restrained, and magic has been siphoned away from them, away from the world, into Wingle Digits so that the populace could use it. Can we bring it back? Absolutely. First off, we gotta free the avatars, man. You gotta free the avatars, and I think they would be once they're all free, we can use their combined power to end this magicless world.
While it may not seem too out of character, because it is often that Zothkug and I are the more ponderous members of this group.
Hey,
I
you guys are
essentially agree
bonding.
with
This is
everything
great.
Zothkug just said, which I am slightly surprised by. Yeah. But yes, I am currently also a subscriber to the Magical Wish Fountain Theory, and I believe that it is reversible. It just may take a lot of time and effort and things like that. So,
Or a
and
wish of
research.
our own, man.
Or perhaps a wish of our own. But yes, that is my working theory as well.
You know, I hear what you guys are saying, but to be honest, I think we're all wrong. I think we're missing something, a vital piece. I think there's just too many loose ends, you know. Things click together, but then you end up with a puzzle piece missing, and when you rearrange it, there's always something missing. So I just don't think we have enough information to really discover what's going on. The fact that there are forces involved that we don't understand yet. There's things going on we don't know the mechanics of yet. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable ascribing to one theory or another. But if I had to, I definitely think that magic has been redirected somehow out of everyone's grasp.
I know for one thing, though.
I can't say for certain how.
I'm going to kill whoever killed my uncle. I mean, my grandpa. I'm...
You know who killed him?
Say that sentence again so I can use it in a preview for our episode. But don't trip over his relationship.
Grandpa. Well, I'm counting on that they are. And if they
How do
aren't,
you know they're even
I'll
still
fix it.
alive, Jeb?
What if they're not? You'll revive them?
Just to kill him again.
That's pretty metal, man.
That's pretty...
Yeah, I don't normally
Wow,
let my
Jeb.
emotions
I don't
out
think I've seen that
much,
side of you
but,
before.
you know, I really care about my grandpa. I miss him. Thanks, man.
If you need help with that, I've got your back, Jeb.
Oh, no, I'm just going to need you to
Can't say I
revive him.
condone these
You don't have to
actions,
worry
but
about
you gotta
killing
do
or
what you
anything
gotta
like
do,
that.
man.
Has
That's true.
All right, well, we got to get magic back for me to do that. And I need a lot more experience. I don't have access to those spells yet.
I guess in some way, that is some extra motivation to fix the magic problem that we have going on.
Now, guys, I know we can't really see the sun, but I feel like we're burning daylight right now, or the equivalent of it. I think
No,
we
man.
should
Or
get
at
back
least
on the
burning
I
trail.
thought we were
showcase.
moving while we were doing this.
That's right.
Somebody's got to drive.
I mean, we've been
Feeling
huddled this
so-
entire time. How can we be moving?
yeah.
Are we shuffling
driving
our
the
feet
horse?
while we
What
have
do you
our arms
mean
around
who's
each other?
driving? It's a straight
Yeah,
line
we are.
following a track. You don't
No,
need
no,
a
no,
driver.
no. Wait, I thought we were huddled in a
no, see,
circle.
it's- you know when
Aren't
you-
we, marching in
When you sit
lockstep
down
while
too
we're huddled?
long and your butt cheeks fall asleep
No,
and
we're
it
left-
feels
we're
like you're
huddled
leaning to
on
the
that
side
front,
and
right?
you think
Oh.
you're moving because you've been so still for so long. I
Guys.
think that's what's going on.
Guys,
Mm. Okay.
Guys, I know we've really wrapped our brains around this conspiracy, and we may have even lost track of where we are right now.
Conspiracy of the numb butt theory. I think that
Of the magic.
Oh, okay.
Guys, I just want to say, as someone who hasn't lost track of where we are, I'm pretty sure we're still in the cave huddled. Okay? I know some of this stuff may have moved your brain so hard and blasted it that you think you're moving, but you're not. Okay? We're still... Look at the ground.
I think I'm going to need a
Touch the
second
rocks.
long rest after this
still-
session here.
We're still in the ground.
I think I may have breathed in some sacrium.
Fair.
All right. What's our
That's...
team
So,
chant
guys,
when we break the circle?
What's your team name?
Ooh.
Numb butt
Made
gang.
this.
Alan, we've known each other for a very long few weeks.
Chant.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard you say. Come out of your mouth.
I have to agree with Jeb on this one, man.
I think I also
Listen, man,
breathed
you
in
can't
the
bring your
sacred-
army stuff in here.
What if we are?
That's like
You
saying
can't bring
we
your
are the
army stuff in
druggies.
here.
We are the crackheads.
I think doesn't that not
No, no,
imply
no.
that we're? Yes. That implies that we're pro sacrium.
Whoa. What if we say we're the gods chosen?
Especially if there's a
That
comma.
sounds like
Right,
a
'cause
cult even
the
more
avatars-
than numb butt
well-
squad.
Well, I'm just saying, the avatars came to us, right? Through our visions. And
It's all
What are the
consonants,
first letters of
and
our
there's an
names
X.
spelled, guys?
It's going to be very hard to pronounce.
I have an A. I'm an A. Alan starts with A.
Jaxel.
Oh, that's true.
Jaxl.
Actually, that's kind of cool.
that is actually pronounceable.
Did you actually have a suggestion, Jeb?
No.
Oh, you set it up like you had a suggestion, and they cut you off for all three of them to speak. And so I was waiting, like, wow, I can't wait to hear Jeb's suggestion, and there wasn't
so
one
Wait a
at the
minute.
end of the rainbow.
Zoth, hold on a second.
You mean?
Whose name starts with L?
Get out of here, Alan.
Yeah, man.
What
Oh,
are
wait.
you? What are you talking?
Wait, Zoth would know.
I would know.
Wait, Zoth would know. Zoth would
And he
know,
would let it
and
slip. He
I'm
totally
giving
would.
Zoth the death glare. Zoth, it can't be Jaxel. Because no one is named with an L in this group.
Oh, you're right,
it's
man.
all. Oh,
Sorry,
it's also clear now.
Jackson.
Thank you for clearing that up.
If you hyphenate it and make it Fax J, then it sounds like a rap group.
J. Facts,
Yo, Fax
J-
J in the building. Or
J.
J
J.
Fax.
Oh, J Fax.
It's a special kind of fax, you know? It's not just your regular fax machine. It's a JFax, you know, like JPEG?